Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto tells the Hokage the secret to paperwork. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Cyronyx and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter 1. Trust. Naruto. Age 5. Naruto-kun, are you okay? An old man wearing a white robe and hat asked a young boy with blonde hair. You could hear the worry in his voice. Of course I am Oji-san. The young boy with blonde hair responded. The two were currently talking about the young boy's health in an office overlooking an entire village. Well, that's good to hear, my boy. The older man responded to the boy. I take it you're here because you want to enroll in the academy, right? The older man asked. Knowing the answer. Yes, Oji-san. Can I? Please. Naruto was jumping up and down now. Clearly he was getting excited. Naruto, we went over this already. You still can't join the academy. Not that you're too young, no. It's just I promised someone that you'd be enrolled in the academy when I deemed you ready. The old man stated. You could see the look of exasperation on his face. I swear, he never listens to me. A young boy was looking at the old man's face. As if examining something. Okay, Oji-san. I believe you. Naruto smiled. As he left the room in a hurry. Turning his back on the old man and running out the room. Well, that was unexpected. Thought the old man. I usually have to explain it again. I wonder what changed. Naruto. Age 10. Naruto. A man shouted at a blonde boy running away. Catch me if you can, Iruka-sensei. The blonde known as Naruto kept running. Outrunning the older man. Come back here. He shouted again. He's fast. He's outrunning me and he's not even winded. You gotta be faster than that to catch me, Iruka-sensei. The boy teased. That's it. The man quickly did a hand sign and disappeared in a puff of smoke. What the oh? The screamed in pain as he was grabbed by the collar. Got you now, you little runt. The man with the scar across his face laughed. Ah. Iruka-sensei, don't hurt me, please. The boy cried in desperation. What? Hurt him? I would never do that. Man, these villagers are really giving him a tough time. The man thought. Don't worry, Naruto. I won't hurt you. The man sighed. He saw the look of the boy. As if examining him. Okay, Iruka-sensei. The boy smiled. Trusting the man. Much. Iruka finished. The man heard the boy gulp. Naruto. Age 12. Present day. Found you? Iruka shouted. By the look on his face. He was clearly and visibly pissed. Hey, Iruka-sensei. Look. I learned 2 new jutsus in the scroll. I can graduate now, right? The boy sounded excited. But Iruka caught a sound of worry in his voice. His clothes. It's clear he's been practicing something, but what? The man was exasperated. He's been trying to find the boy for 5 hours now. Naruto. What are you talking about? Iruka asked. Not understanding the boy's question. Mizuki told me that if I learned a jutsu from this scroll I could graduate. Naruto replied with a fake smile on his face. Mizuki told you that? Iruka asked. Yep. Naruto replied with another fake smile. Naruto, I can tell if you're faking it, remember? But now's not the time to talk about that. Come on, let's go see the Hokage. Look out. Iruka quickly tackled the boy aside as he was hit with kunais. Sending him back to the hut as it embedded itself to his clothes. Sticking him there. Very good, Naruto. You pass. Now hand me the scroll. A voice shouted out. Naruto was still dazed. Seeing his sensei like that. A man suddenly jumped down from a branch. He was wearing the I just killed the spelling of the village on his head. The standard Chunin Jounin jacket and blue pants and sandals underneath. On his back were 2 giant shuriken. He had white hair that was covering his face. Naruto, the scroll now. The man calmly demanded. No. Naruto, don't listen to him. Iruka shouted. Desperation in his voice. He's tricking you. Run. He just wants the scroll and turn on the hidden leaf. Iruka shouted again. Ordering the boy to run. Iruka, shut up. The man quickly grabbed one of the shuriken on his back and threw it at the stranded Chunin. He was waiting for it. The sound of flesh ripping. Instead of hearing that though. He heard the sound of it embedding itself on the ground. If you ever touch my sensei again. I will kill you. The voice shocked both people. The white-haired man looked at where the shuriken was. Surprised that it was destroyed in 4 pieces. How? Never mind. Naruto, duck. Iruka shouted as he broke free of the kunais. Naruto quickly responded as he ducked at 5 shuriken flying over him. Pathetic. The man laughed as he simply dodged the shuriken. Just leave the boy, Iruka. He's a demon and should be allowed to die. Mizuki stated. A demon? Naruto questioned. Shock on his face. That's right, Naruto. You're the… Don't Mizuki. It's an S-class secret. Iruka interrupted the man before he could finish. You're the Kyuubi. Mizuki finished with a smirk. The Kyuubi? Naruto asked. Yes, Naruto. The Kyuubi. Don't you find it strange that 12 years ago you were born on the day the Kyuubi attacked? The Yondaime couldn't possibly defeat that demon. So, instead, he opted to seal it into a newborn baby. And that baby was you, Naruto. The man finished as he grabbed the other shuriken on his back and threw it at Naruto. No. Iruka quickly shielded the boy with his own body. The shuriken struck true and embedded itself in Iruka's back. Don't. Believe him, Naruto. Iruka coughed up blood. You are not the demon. I know, because you and we were the same. 12 years ago. The demon killed my parents. I was alone. It was hard. So I made a fool of myself every day. So people would see me, would stop pitying me, so they would notice me. I wanted them to know I was alive. Naruto, you and I are the same. Always craving attention, always playing pranks, and always wanting to be acknowledged. Naruto, don't believe you are the demon. You are merely its jailer. The one that's keeping it at bay. You are a hero and brother in my eyes, Naruto. You are alive and well in my eyes. Iruka finished as he removed the shuriken on his back and threw it at Mizuki, who just dodged it. Finished with your little speech, Iruka? Then die. Mizuki charged at Iruka. Iruka, having been wounded and Naruto being behind him, couldn't dodge. So instead he drew a kunai and held it in a reverse grip, waiting for the strike so he could block it. Mizuki saw this and smirked. Don't think that guarding him will help. Mizuki quickly drew 2 kunais and threw on at Iruka. Iruka, having saw this, quickly raised his kunai to deflect it. He did, but he was kicked at his ribs by Mizuki. You're still slower than me, Iruka, he stated. Mizuki quickly followed up the kick with a punch to the gut that launched Iruka at Naruto. However, Iruka was quick to react as he planted his feet on the ground and grabbed Mizuki's arm and pulled him towards him. Iruka followed the pull with a high kick to the jaw of Mizuki, sending him upwards. Naruto. Run and don't stop. Iruka ordered as he jumped up and followed with a punch to Mizuki's chest. Mizuki was sent crashing to a tree. Seeing the opportunity to run to the Hokage, Iruka checked to see if Naruto listened to him. Clearly enough, he did, as he did not see Naruto in the vicinity. He quickly ran through the forest as he did not have enough chakra to use Shunshin body flicker. A few minutes later. Naruto, over here. Iruka shouted as he appeared next to a running Naruto. Iruka-sensei. Where's Mizuki? The boy asked. I took care of him. Now, give me the scroll, Naruto. Iruka asked as he extended an arm, indicating him to place the scroll there. Nice try, Mizuki. Naruto launched himself at Iruka, surprising the Chunin. His shoulder connecting to the ribs of Iruka, launching him across the grassy dirt. Damn it. How did you know? Iruka suddenly burst into smoke, leaving an out-of-breath Mizuki in his place. Like hell, I tell you, team. Naruto shouted as he placed the scroll next to a tree. What, not running away? Ha. Maybe if I kill you, I'd get a medal, even if I was betraying them. Mizuki laughed, quickly getting up as he took a basic Chunin Taijutsu stance, involving his hands close to chest level, both bending towards his body, with his left hand extending more than his right. His legs were wide apart, as wide as his body. Come on, kid. I'll play with you a little, he said as he charged at Naruto, aiming for his head. Naruto, having seen him charging at him, did a cross-hand seal. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. A puff of smoke later. There were 10 Narutos shoulder to shoulder. Scatter. The middle one ordered as the others obliged. All the Narutos surrounded Mizuki, who was still in shock at seeing the worst Bunshin user use a Bunshin. The Narutos in front of Mizuki quickly took the offensive as they charged at the dazed Mizuki. The one on Mizuki's left jumped as the slid on the grassy soil. Realizing what the clone was doing, he quickly jumped up as the clone slid past Mizuki. But he forgot to take into account the other clone. The clone quickly showed him the error of his ways with a quick kick to the chest at midair, launching the still in the air Mizuki back turned towards 3 fast approaching clones. These 3 clones raised their fists at the approaching Mizuki. Hitting true, Mizuki spat out blood as the attack hit his spinal cord. The force quickly made him drop down as the one in the front cancelled out the ones from behind. The 5 clones that attacked quickly dispelled themselves as the other 5 quickly jumped high in the air, spinning as they reached their peak. They stopped spinning with one of their legs raised up, they quickly descended on the downed Mizuki. Good night. They all shouted as their heels connected to Mizuki's body, earning them a scream of pain. The clones quickly undid themselves and left a standing Naruto sitting next to an unconscious Mizuki. Naruto. Naruto heard a voice. Recognizing it as Iruka's, he quickly shouted back. Over here, Iruka-sensei. Iruka quickly found himself in a clearing with an unconscious Mizuki and an unscathed Naruto in it. Naruto. What happened to Mizuki? he asked, not believing his eyes. I beat him. He tried disguising himself as you Iruka-sensei, but I knew he was lying. And I beat him. He exclaimed. How? Iruka couldn't believe his ears. Mizuki, a Chunin, was beaten by Naruto, who was an academy student. I beat him using my new jutsu. He replied with a grin. And how did you know it wasn't me? How did you know that I wouldn't get hurt when you attacked him? Iruka asked, curious as to how Naruto could see if a person was lying. I don't know, Iruka-sensei. I could always just tell if a person was truthful or not. Naruto explained. So, you knew Mizuki was lying when he asked you to steal the forbidden scroll? Iruka accused. Naruto just looked at his feet. Then nodded his head, signaling a yes. Then why did you steal it? Even if you knew he was lying? Iruka looked at the downcast Naruto with a worried look. Because I wanted to be a ninja. I wanted to graduate and prove myself to everyone. I hoped that my senses were wrong. Because I really wanted to graduate. Naruto was standing now, tears in his eyes that were about to fall. Iruka just sighed. He is just a kid. Naruto, close your eyes. Iruka ordered as he made his way towards Naruto. Why, Iruka-sensei? Naruto asked, puzzled. Just close them. Iruka ordered again. Naruto quickly closed both eyes. Now, open them. Iruka said. Opening them, Naruto noticed Iruka's hideite was missing. Iruka was pointing towards Naruto's forehead. Naruto drew his hands to his forehead and was surprised. There was a hideite there. Congratulations. You pass. Iruka said with a smile. The next day. You wanted to see my Oji-san. Naruto made his way into the Hokage's office. Ah, yes, Naruto-kun. Please take a seat. The old man said. The boy obliged and took a seat in front of the desk. Naruto looked behind the old man and saw that the sun was already setting, giving it an orange glow. Would you want to see me, Oji-san? Naruto asked, not really sure why he was there. Well, as you know, Naruto. All the Jounin teachers aren't around. Yeah. Iruka-sensei said that they were all called in for a mission to protect the daimyo. The daimyo was attacked and now we have to wait for 4 weeks before we get to meet our Jounin teachers. Naruto reiterated what his teacher told them this morning. No flashback here. Sorry. That is correct, Naruto-kun. The daimyo is a very important person in our economic and political success. So when he was attacked, I quickly ordered all senior Jounin, they would be your teachers, to protect the daimyo as well as find the assailants. But that is not why I ordered you here, Naruto-kun. The aged man said. Naruto was now confused. Then why did you send me here? Naruto asked. Still confused. I sent you here because I'm going to give you a secret. The old man smiled. Knowing what the blonde's reaction is going to be. The boy was examining the older man. Naruto-kun. You know you can trust me. I would never lie to you. The old man reassured. I know, Oji-san. Besides, I can tell if people are lying anyways. And I could sometime find out the reason behind their lying. Naruto explained. The old man looked at the boy. So it is true. To be able to find out if a person is lying or not at a young age, it's astounding. But also finding out the reasons of people's lies. Naruto-kun, you said you could sometimes tell the reason behind someone's lie. Like how exactly? The old man asked curiously. Well, Oji-san. I can't always find out the reason. But I found out that if the person was doing it to protect something or someone, I could always tell. But if a person is lying for personal gain or for bad purposes, I can't tell why. Naruto explained to the Hokage. And if I trust a person enough, I can and always tell if they were lying. Naruto continued. The old man was wide-eyed. That is an invaluable gift. I wonder where he got that. The old man chuckled as he remembered Kushina. Always going off about lying. How she hated it, how it's useless. Must have been from her. Well, Naruto-kun, as to the secret, I will have to send it to your house later. The old man said. He sighed at the noise the young boy was making. Naruto was able to look at the desk of the old Hokage. He saw stacks of unfinished paperwork. All of which he guessed had to be finished today. Why hasn't Oji-san used Kage Bunshin's yet? He thought. Ding. Oji-san, if I tell you the secret to beating paperwork, will you give it to me now? The boy said with a smug look. Well, that is certainly interesting. The older man thought. Okay, then Naruto-kun. If you can tell me the secret to beating paperwork, I'll give you the secret and something else as an added bonus as well. The older man challenged. Naruto, seeing nothing wrong, answered. Kage Bunshin's, Oji-san. Naruto stated. The older man looked like he had just had a heart attack. His face was of absolute shock. As he regained his senses, he let out a chuckle. Very well, Naruto-kun. As our deal was. Here. The aged Hokage something from inside his robes. As he brought his hand out, it was revealed to be a scroll. He handed it to Naruto. Here it is, Naruto-kun. Now, you have to promise me you will take this scroll seriously. No goofing around. No leaving it alone. The old man looked Naruto in the eye, signifying that whatever was in the scroll was top secret. Why yes, Oji-san. Naruto nearly shat his pants at the old man's stare. The man was an aged veteran. His eye stare alone could probably kill a low-level chunin. Now for the bonus. The man quickly lightened the mood. He signaled for Anbu. Sure enough there was one by his side. This Anbu agent had purple hair that reached to her shoulder, signifying her as a woman. She also had a mask that resembled a cat. Could you get documents 9B08 and 9B0D for me, Nico-san? The older man asked. Hi Hokage-sama. She responded through her mask. Naruto could already tell that she was a gentle soul and would never look for a fight. Even if she was Anbu. The woman quickly reappeared to the side of the Hokage. Here they are, Hokage-sama. The woman handed the documents to the old man. Thank you, Nico-san. You may return to your post now. The old man said. Hi. The woman quickly disappeared in a puff of smoke. Here, Naruto-kun. These are some taijutsu and ninjutsu techniques for you to learn. As well as a couple of jinjutsu and kinjutsu too. The old man stated. Giving Naruto 4 more scrolls. Thanks, Oji-san. Naruto quickly took the scrolls and went to leave. Only to be stopped by the elder man's voice again. Page Bunshin's Naruto-kun. Naruto turned around. Only to see a smiling Hokage. Cryptic old man, he thought with a smile. Whatever, Oji-san. He quickly made his way to his favorite spot to train. Chapter 2. Training and Voices. Ah. A scream of frustration was heard from training ground 30. It was only 5 o'clock in the morning. And you could hear someone training. Though it wasn't just one scream. If you listened closely. You could hear more than 50. I'm never gonna finish reading these in time. A young blonde boy who was 12 years old shouted. He appeared to be reading a scroll of taijutsu called Yokin. And what did Oji-san say? Cage Bunshins, how are they supposed to help? They've been reading the same thing for as long as me. He shouted again. Suddenly he just stood up with a shocked face. Everyone dispel now. All 100 of you. He ordered as if he knew the answer. No problem, boss. They all shouted unanimously. The whole training field was engulfed in white puffy smoke. As Naruto clutched his head in pain. That was one massive headache. He groaned as he sat down. He suddenly formed another bunshin and took up the Yokian stance. His left arm was close to the left side of his chest, while his right was bended towards his chest. His right hand was of that of a palm. While his legs were apart, the right one in front, while the other at the back, both not aligning with his body. His clone quickly did the same stance. Let's go. The clone shouted as he charged at the original. He was quickly in front of the target and used his palmed right hand to hit the target's chest. The original, having seen this, quickly retaliated with his legs. As he jumped over the clone, he used his left hand, which made contact before he landed behind his opponent, to grab the other's head. He pulled hard and sure enough. The clone was over his head. He used this moment to use his right palm to strike 3 times. To the head, the spine, and the right thigh. All of this happened as the clone was being thrown over the original. But Naruto wasn't finished yet. His left arm, which was now free, grabbed the clone by an ankle. And swiftly pulled, resulting in the clone taking a vertical position. Naruto used his right leg to do a high kick to the clone's jaw. The clone clearly had enough and dispelled. Yada. I knew I figured it out. He shouted as he jumped for joy. He quickly crossed his hands together as 200 Narutos were now in the field. Divide yourselves into 4 groups. The original ordered. Sure enough. There were 4 groups, each made of 50 clones. I want Group 1 practicing Yokian. Group 2 practicing tree walking. Group 3 reading each of your scrolls on the jutsu. And Group 4 sparring with each other. Groups 1 and 4 will be close, as if anyone sees a flaw. Pointed out and corrected. Got it. He shouted. Yes, boss. They all shouted and went to work on practicing. Naruto, having knew that Cage Bunshins wouldn't increase his physical fitness, quickly challenged himself. 200 push-ups, 250 squats, and 300 sit-ups, he thought as he went to work. A few hours later. Haha. I did it. I'm a Yokian practitioner and I learned that new jutsu. Naruto shouted as he stood up. Sweat pouring from his forehead. The sun was already setting. Better eat now, he thought hungrily. He checked his frog wallet. Christened Gama-chan. And nearly fainted. I have no more money. He yelled at the top of his voice. He heard a rustle of leaves behind him. He turned and saw a brown rabbit. What if I hunt and sell the furs? I could also eat the meat. He thought. But he didn't know a thing about hunting. Much less skinning. I'll find a book in the library about hunting and skinning, he thought with a grin. As he left the training field, the sun had already set. He was passing by training field 10 and there he saw Shikamaru, Choji and Ino. Deciding to say hi, he went over. "Hey guys," he shouted, getting the attention of the team. "Hey Naruto, what are you doing here?" Choji responded. "Nothing. Just wanted to say hi," he said with a grin. "Troublesome. Naruto, have you been training?" Shikamaru asked as he saw his tattered cloths and smelled his stench. "Yep. I got a scroll yesterday about a taijutsu. I practiced it today and was able to begin learning its advanced forms," he explained. "Yeah. And I got a 200-foot gorilla in my backyard. You can't expect us to believe you've been training and reading. At the same time mastering a taijutsu within one day." Ino butted in. "Fine, if you don't believe me don't. But it's still better than sitting around all day and dreaming about Sasuke team," Naruto responded, earning a chuckle from both males. "He has a point, Ino." Shikamaru took Naruto's side. "He got you, Ino." Choji also took Naruto's side. Ino looked betrayed. "Don't want, never mind. I'm in a bad mood today. So I let you off the hook," Ino said, looking beaten. "Anyways, Naruto, wanna come with us and eat some barbecue?" Choji asked. "Sure. But, who's paying?" he joked. "In the village. Get out." An older man who looked to be in his 40s shouted as he dragged Naruto out. "Boy. He's with us." Shikamaru shouted, mad that he was kicking out a friend. "I don't care. We don't serve him here. And if you're with him, get out too," the man shouted with fury. "What? But that's not." Choji was interrupted by Naruto. "It's okay guys. Go on, I'll be fine," Naruto said with a fake smile. "No, it's not fine. This man doesn't want our friend to eat here." "Fine. Then we're not eating here," Shikamaru declared, leaving the building along with Ino and Choji. "And never come back again," the man shouted at Naruto. They began walking away as they searched for another place to eat. "What was that about, Naruto? The man acted as if you're evil or something. Sure you pull pranks, but wasn't that a little too far?" Choji asked Naruto. Still angry at the man for not letting them eat there. Naruto looked down. "I'll be okay guys, just eat there without me." Naruto smiled. He was glad they were there for them. But he didn't want them to suffer because of him. "Don't be an idiot, Naruto. We're friends, and what kind of friends would we be if we left you hanging?" Shikamaru stated. Naruto only smiled. "Sorry guys, but I have to go," he said as he ran from the group. "Boy. Naruto." Choji shouted. But it was too late. Naruto was lost in the crowd. Why did that old man hate Naruto? Troublesome, Shikamaru thought with a sigh. Well. That was weird of Naruto. He seemed like he was hiding something. Ino pointed out. "I'm leaving too. Gotta find out about something, even if it is troublesome." Shikamaru turned to leave. "Hey. Shikamaru, wait for me." Choji shouted, going after Shikamaru, leaving Ino all alone. "I guess I could follow Naruto, wonder what's up," she thought with a shrug. In the streets. Naruto was walking down the street, barely hitting anyone. Not that it was clear, no, people were just moving away from him. "At least I have friends like them." Naruto thought of Team 10. "Right. And that blonde one looked good too." A voice in his head thought. "Wah? Who's in here?" Naruto asked his head. Naruto suddenly blacked out. He felt like he was being sucked into something. He closed his eyes as the feeling of crashing into the ground overtook him. But it never came. Only the feeling of water in his feet. He opened his eyes to see that he was in a sewer. "What is this place?" he thought. He wandered around. Seeing as there were no doors. He quickly took a left. And he found himself in front of a large gate. Or was it a cage? And in the middle of the cage was a piece of paper with a word seal in kanji written in it. "So? You decide to visit a kid?" A deep booming voice asked. Gaining an yap from Naruto. "You just gonna stand there, kid?" The deep voice asked. Who are you?" Naruto asked, scared. "Me?" The deep voice laughed. Behind the cage, two giant eyes opened, both looking at Naruto. A snout appeared in front of the eyes. Showing Naruto it had orange fur. "I am the Kyuubi no Kitsune," the deep voice stated. Naruto looked inside the cage in shock. But he quickly got over it and took out his hand. "Nice to meet you. I'm Naruto Uzumaki," Naruto said. The giant demon only laughed. "Are you not scared of me, Uzumaki? Aren't you going to attack me for causing your life to be the shithole it is now?" Kyuubi laughed. His deep booming voice was echoing through the sewers. "Why should I?" was Naruto's answer. This caused the Kyuubi to stop laughing and stare at the boy. "I mean, it's not your fault. The Kyuubi was sealed in me for the good of the village. So it's not your fault that the villagers despise me. It's their fault for thinking I'm you," he explained, with the Kyuubi only stared at the boy. "Hold on a second, kid. Let me change into something more comfortable for you to talk to," Kyuubi said. His snout and eyes retracted into the darkness. After a minute of waiting, Naruto could hear footsteps from behind the cage. A man who appeared to be in his late 20s stepped out of the darkness. He was wearing a black muscle shirt under an orange trench coat. He wore cargo pants that was also orange. His hair was red and short. He had bangs covering his eyes giving him a menacing look. He wore black boots that looked like they were tough and resistant. But the most distinguishing part of him were the 9 orange tails behind him. They were waving around like they were on fire. "Easier to talk to me now, eh kid?" the man asked Naruto. "Hey Kyuubi?" Naruto asked. Shock apparent in his face. "No. A unicorn. Who else would it be, jackass?" The Kyuubi responded. Naruto just looked at him in shock. "So you're the Kyuubi?" Naruto was still shocked. "Listen, kid. I didn't bring you all the way in here to look at my human form, okay?" The Kyuubi was getting annoyed. "I'm going to tell you just once. So listen carefully." Kyuubi had now closed his eyes. Naruto was leaning towards Kyuubi. "I'm gonna do you a favor," Kyuubi said. Naruto just stared at the Kyuubi. "What favor?" Naruto asked. Not really understanding. "A favor. As in, anything you want, just name it," the Kyuubi said. Naruto looked at the Kyuubi with both his eyes. Examining him. "You want something from me?" Naruto stated. The Kyuubi just laughed. "Of course I do, kid. But that can wait until you're older," the Kyuubi said. "Okay. I'll think about it," Naruto said with a grin. Kyuubi just smiled. He raised his head so his eyes could now be seen. Naruto got goosebumps at what he saw. His eyes were flaming. The tips were flowing to the sides. "Whatever you say, kid. I'll be here when you want it," the Kyuubi said. Outside Naruto's mindscape. "Boy. Naruto." Ino was frantically waving her hands in front of Naruto, who looked like he was a vegetable. "Giluo." Ino shouted for the 3rd time in a row. She nearly had a heart attack when Naruto jumped. "Ino? What are you doing here?" Naruto asked confused. "Me? What were you doing blanking out like that?" Ino asked. Annoyance clear in her face. "Long story," Naruto said, not wanting to let her know about the Kyuubi. "Well anyway," Ino was interrupted as a new voice called. "Naruto-kun." A woman called for Naruto. She was wearing a kimono that was plain white. She also had an apron over her kimono. Her hair was brown and she was wearing a bandana with the logo of Ichiraku Ramen printed there. She was carrying 6 plastic bags. Indicating she just went shopping. "Ayamanasan. Wow, those are a lot of bags. Here, let me help you." Naruto quickly grabbed all 6 bags. "Ah. Thanks, Naruto-kun. And who is this young lady? Your girlfriend perhaps?" Am teased. Causing Naruto to blush and Ino to start ranting. 2 blocks later they were at Ichiraku. "Thanks again, Naruto-kun," Am said. Bowing in thanks. "No problem, Ayamanasan," Naruto said with a smile. "Why don't you and your friend eat here?" Am suggested. Pointing at Ino. Returning the smile. Naruto just looked down. "But I have no money," Naruto said. Am just smiled. "Don't worry, Naruto-kun. Just think of it as a thank you gift," Am said, smiling. "Thanks, Ayamanasan," Naruto shouted. "Come on, Ino," Naruto shouted. Excited to eat. What the hell? I'm not getting younger," Ino thought with a smile. Inside 10 minutes later. Ino couldn't believe her eyes. I mean, sure the ramen was good. Hell, she'd break her diet and eat 2 more bowls. But Naruto. Sweet Kami. Where does he put it all? I have to learn how he keeps thin. Ino thought. Naruto, who was at his 15th bowl. Noticed her staring. "Yes, Ino-chan?" Naruto asked as he stopped eating to address Ino's staring. "Hey. What's with calling me Ino-chan? Only Sasuke-kun can call me that." Ino glared at Naruto, who resumed eating right after hearing the word Sasuke. He finished 10 more bowls before he called it a night. Ino had left between the 19th to 21st bowl. As he was sitting on the stool. He suddenly thought of something. "Hey. Oji-san. You think you could teach me to cook?" Naruto suddenly asked. Why, Naruto? I don't recall you ever wanting to cook," Tucci stated. Confused at the weird request. "Well, I noticed that ramen is all that I eat. So I was wondering if I could possibly cook my own. Maybe not just ramen," he explained. Tucci just smiled. "Sure, Naruto. I will teach you the Ichiraku way of cooking. Come by tomorrow at 9 p.m. I'll teach from 9 to 12 every day," Tucci said. Excited to actually teach Naruto cooking. "Also, Naruto-kun." Am suddenly appeared from the back. "If you want, I could also home teach you. In case dad isn't feeling well or isn't here," Am offered. Naruto smiled. "Thanks guys," Naruto shouted with a huge grin. The next day. 298, 299, 300. Naruto was currently doing 500 sets of sit-ups. While 200 other clones were reading, practicing, or sparring next to him. Earlier that day. Naruto sent 50 extra clones to find books and scrolls about hunting and skinning. And ordered them to dispel after they read and studied the entire thing. Soon enough. Naruto was finished his exercises. And was huffing on the floor. Naruto suddenly got the last batch of information on hunting. I learned skinning faster than hunting. Lazy clones. He thought. He decided to hunt a few deers. It was still barely noon. I'm getting faster, he thought with a smile. 3 hours later. After eating lunch and hunting. Naruto and 5 other clones were carrying a lot of deer fur and meat. They were walking towards Naruto's apartment. This meat can last me a year. Better sell most of it. Also I forgot. How will I sell these furs? No shop in the village would buy anything related to me. He thought. He was so busy thinking. He didn't notice he was walking in a street which he didn't notice. He was snapped out of his daze with the sound of a voice. Or rather a set of voices yelling, trying to get people's attention. He looked up and he saw he was in front of a caravan. Hello there, it appears you have a lot of furs there. Also meat. Would you sell them to us? A man in front of the caravan asked. He was wearing a cowboy hat. He was wearing a black t-shirt inside a white coat. And he wore black pants. All in all, he looked like a weird cowboy. Yeah. Are you willing to buy them? Naruto asked eagerly. The man merely nodded. Not me, but my friends will most certainly will. Follow us, we'll be setting up shop in the next street. The mysterious man explained. Naruto nodded. Excited and earning money. 2 hours later. It was now 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Naruto waited for 2 hours to sell his furs and meat. He was getting jumpy. Hey kid. The man from before appeared behind Naruto, scaring the crap out of him. Follow me. I'll take you to them. The man signaled him to follow. He did. He looked left to right and saw a lot of items he has never seen before. Swords that looked evil. Armor that looked like it would slow you down but at the same time protect you. And the weirdest of all, a man selling exotic pets. That man Naruto heard the Kyuubi's voice. Naruto was surprised at the sudden ability of the Kyuubi to talk to him. But he shrugged it off. What? Naruto asked the Kyuubi telepathically. Nothing, Kyuubi said with a grunt. Naruto knew he was lying. But decided not to push any further. We're here, kid. The man said as he stopped in front of a stall. Jayuki, I have a customer for you. The man was talking to the person in the stall. The man looked tough and battle-hardened. He looked like he was 6'3". He had a scar across his face similar to that of Iruka, except that he had 3 of those. He had a black bandana over his hair. Covering it completely, but he had a few loose brown hair that went under the bandana. He wasn't wearing a shirt. But he had a strap on his body. If you looked behind him, you could see a bow. He also 3 small daggers on his hip. All strapped on his left. He was wearing black jeans that looked like they were worn out. On his left thigh was a quiver full of arrows. Each looked like there was something carved on them. But the quiver was blocking the view. Naruto couldn't see his feet as it was blocked by the stall. The stall was like any other. Except there were furs hanging over the stall and meat under it. All in all. He looked badass in the stall. Who? The small runt with his clones. The man insulted. Yeah. He has a few good-looking furs and meat. The man explained to Jayuki. Okay. I'll take a look, Tara. Jayuki addressed the man in front of him. Tara. So that's his name, Naruto thought. He glanced up and saw that Jayuki was examining the furs he was holding. Let me take a closer look, kid. The man asked as he held out his hand. Naruto gave the man a piece of fur. Deer fur. Excellent cut. No meat. No blood. No stains. Very high quality. Tell me, kid, who cut the furs? I did. Naruto stated with a proud look. Well, that's interesting. And who hunted? Jayuki asked. Still examining the fur. I did that too. Naruto stated too. Jayuki held out another hand. At first Naruto didn't know what he was doing. Wah. The meat, kid. Jayuki said. Interrupting Naruto. Naruto signaled one of his clones and the clone gave the man a piece of meat. Jayuki began examining the meat. Deer meat. No skin, no wasted bone. No fur. High quality too. Jayuki stated. He handed Naruto the piece of fur and meat. Alright, kid. I believe you can make quality fur and meat. What other animals did you get? Jayuki asked. Well, I got a few rabbit and wolves. But that's it. All I got left are deers. Naruto explained. Well. Okay. For each cut of rabbit fur you've got, I'll give you 2,000 ryo. For each cut of deer fur you've got, I'll give you 3,000 ryo. And for each cut of wolf fur you've got, I'll give you 5,000 ryo. They are in demand after all. For the meat, the prices for rabbit, deer and wolf are 1,500 ryo, 2,500 ryo, and 6,000 ryo. Respectively. Though they are per kilogram. Jayuki explained. Leaving an open jaw Naruto. I have about 300 deer furs, 100 rabbit furs, and 80 wolf furs. Naruto said. The man just smiled. Then you're one rich boy. Now hand them over. And I'll give you 1,500,000 ryo for the furs. The man replied calmly. Here you go, sir. Naruto handed all his furs. The man counted the money. And gave the exact number to Naruto. Here you go, son. Need help getting it home? Jayuki offered Naruto help. No need, sir. Thank you for the money. Naruto bowed. The man merely snorted. I hate formality, kid. Just call me Jayuki. The man offered his hand for a handshake. Naruto gladly accepted. Then, thank you, Jayuki. Naruto said. After the handshake. Naruto formed a cross-hand seal. Page Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto shouted. In a flash. 15 more Narutos appeared. He pointed at 5 clones that were holding the money. And ordered them. Guard them as they're going to hide the money in a safe place. He ordered them. Yes, boss. The clones started running in different places. Naruto grabbed one clone that was about to leave and grabbed 2 wads. And quickly ordered him to go. Naruto and his other clones holding the meat were about to go. But Jayuki stopped him. Hold on, kid. I wanna let you meet my daughter. Jayuki said with a small smile. Naruto nodded. He turned to his clones and said. Take the meat to Tuchi Ajasan and Ayamonasan. He ordered. The clones started running towards their destination. Naruto turned around and saw Jayuki talking to a girl his age. Naruto immediately noticed her snow-white hair that reached just below her shoulder. She was wearing a dark green kimono that reached just above her knees. It was modest, not indecent. Her chest was showing a little cleavage. Though just a little. She also wore standard ninja shoes, though they were green instead of blue. She also wore leggings. By her hip, you could see a katana with 2 daggers above and below the sword. Naruto was so distracted by her he didn't hear Jayuki calling him. Boygaki. Stop staring at my daughter. Jayuki quickly hit Naruto on the head. Making him snap back to reality. Ow. What was that for? Naruto screamed in pain. He heard the girl giggle at him. That was cute, he thought. He smiled and approached the girl. Hi. My name's Naruto Uzumaki. He said as he extended his hands for a handshake. The girl promptly took it. Rei Kyuko, she replied with a smile. They were interrupted by Jayuki. Rei, Naruto here can cut high-quality fur. So if you have a question about cutting fur, just ask him. Jayuki said as he turned and greeted another customer. Ah, Naruto-kun. Do you want to listen to music? Rei asked with a blush. Naruto, having not understood the question, responded with a nod. A yes nod. Really? Come with me please, Naruto-kun. Rei took Naruto's hand and led him towards a tent set up behind the stall. Since the street was next to a clearing, there were tents everywhere. Probably the vendors' tents. Naruto thought. Naruto was led inside the tent and could see a lot of animal heads. These guys have been at it for a long time, Naruto noticed. Rei quickly made Naruto sit down as she searched for something. Naruto heard an aha. As Rei sat down next to Naruto with an harmonica. What's that, Rei-chan? Naruto asked. Rei blushed at the suffix. But quickly shook her head. It's an harmonica, Naruto-kun. You haven't seen one before? She asked. Naruto just shook his head. Nope. Sorry. Naruto said with a smile. Well, allow me to enlighten you, Naruto-kun. She said as she started playing. Naruto couldn't describe this new feeling. Amazing, he thought. Her melody was slow and sweet. Like 2 people meeting and becoming friends. And both of them were separated. Her melody started becoming fast. As if someone was going after them. Going to kill them. Going to hurt them. As Rei finished playing. Naruto wiped away a tear he didn't know he shed. That was beautiful, Rei-chan. That was truly beautiful. You were playing about your life, didn't you? Naruto asked. Rei just looked at him in shock. A tear threatening to fall. How did she was quickly interrupted by Naruto as he hugged her. I don't know. But your life has been a mess. Just let go of the past and move into the future. Because, in the future, you know you can be safe. Naruto told her. Rei's tears now fell. She returned the hug and cried on his shoulders. They stayed like that for another 15 minutes. Naruto trying his best in comforting Rei. She finally pulled away and handed Naruto her harmonica. Naruto was confused. Before he could ask why. She answered. Thank you, Naruto-kun. For showing me how to let go. I know this isn't much. But take it. I hope it'll comfort you more than it did me. She said as she kissed Naruto's cheek. Causing Naruto to blush. Thank you, Rei-chan. He replied as he gave her another hug. She quickly returned it. Naruto-kun, we come by every month. At the 3rd Sunday of each month, can you promise me you'll visit? And that you won't get hurt? She asked with hope in her eyes. Naruto couldn't say no. It's a promise, Rei-chan. Naruto grinned. Deepening the hug. They were so into the hug that they didn't notice Jayuki coming into the tent. Jayuki just smiled. "Naruto. Thank you for taking my daughter out of the darkness." Jayuki thought with a smile as he exited the tent. "I have to go now, Ray-chan. I still have training to do," Naruto said as he pulled away. Ray was only making a puff face. "Fine, but remember our promise," she said, smiling at Naruto, who was already leaving. "Don't worry, I will," he shouted from outside the tent. Naruto was greeted by Jayuki as he was running past the store. "Naruto. Come here. I'm gonna give you something," Jayuki shouted. Naruto ran back and stopped in front of the stall. "Yes?" Naruto asked, curious as to what he was gonna give him. "Here, take this katana. It's a long sword that I never got around into using. Take it as a sign of goodwill." Jayuki gave Naruto an onyx katana. Its pommel all the way to its collar were black. It had no design whatsoever. Though it did have a length of string that was just below the pommel. Its guard looked like it was stretched, it formed a square spiral, it had 4 tentacles that looked wavy. Its blade collar was dark blue in color, having 2 emeralds on both sides. Its main blade was black. Pitch black. Like it was soaked in ash and someone left the ash to harden. That was how black it was. The tip of the blade was forked, like a snake's tongue. It also was 4 feet long. Longer than Naruto's upper body. Jayuki sheathed the sword. Hearing the sound of the blade sharpening when it entered the sheath. The sheath has a built-in sword sharpener. So every time you put it away, it sharpens. Jayuki explained. Naruto was awed at the intricate design of the blade. It was finely crafted. It also looked extremely expensive. Naruto, having not wanting to piss off Jayuki by not accepting it, took hold of it and put it behind his back. "Thank you, Jayuki," Naruto said with a bow. Jayuki just snorted. "I told you I hate formality. Now get out of here. You're scaring the customers," Jayuki ordered. Naruto looked back and saw villagers looking at him with hate in their eyes. Naruto just smiled, an evil smile. Which promptly scared all the villagers looking at him. Naruto dashed off to the training ground with his clones. Jayuki just sighed at the blonde boy. "Annoying brat," Jayuki said to no one in particular. At training ground 30. "Ah!" Naruto screamed. Surprising he's still practicing clones. It was now 5 o'clock and the sun was beginning to set. Naruto just looked at the Kenjutsu scroll in front of him. "I can't use this style with my sword," Naruto shouted again. Gaining snickers from his clones. True enough, the Kenjutsu scroll in front of him wasn't compatible with his sword. It utilized the use of small swords that were 1 to 2 feet long. Naruto's sword was 4 feet long. Naruto sighed in defeat. He couldn't use this. Nor did he know anyone who could. Naruto stood up and ordered all his clones to dispel. The clones all laughed and quickly did so. In a giant puff of smoke, the entire training field was cleared. Naruto waiting for the feedback wasn't expecting this. Naruto clutched his head in deep pain. It was the most excruciating headache he ever felt. After the pain subsided, Naruto sighed in relief. Damn it. Have to let them dispel 50 at a time. Naruto thought. Naruto faced a tree and quickly did hand signs. Duoten. Juhashu, wind release. Beast wave strike. Naruto shouted as he finished the hand signs. Naruto moved his hands in a slicing motion. As 3 waves of wind came out of his hands and started coming for the tree. The tree was sliced clean. The 3 waves cut through the tree, cutting it into 3 equal parts. Naruto shouted. Timber. The tree fell down in a crash, resulting in nearby animal life to run away from it. Birds flew away, rabbits came out, and even deer were running about. Naruto could only whistle. Wow. It cut right through the tree. It even damaged a tree behind it. Awesome jutsu. Naruto shouted as he jumped in the air. Naruto was so busy jumping up and down he didn't notice his stomach. Well, that made itself known now. As it rumbled, resulting in Naruto to stop jumping. "I'm hungry. Better check if Tsuchiya-san got my delivery," Naruto said to no one. He left the training ground as a few genin arrived to find the source of its noise. A few minutes later. "Hey Tsuchiya-san," Naruto shouted as he entered the stall. Naruto nearly yelped at what he heard. "Naruto. As a thank you for the high-quality meat, you can eat here for free for the next 2 weeks." Tucci suddenly shouted. He was cooking at the back while AM was tending to the customers. AM just giggled at the sight of Naruto jumping at the sudden name calling. "Please Naruto-kun, sit down," AM ordered. Naruto quickly obliged as he watched AM go in the back of the stall. Naruto waited for a few minutes before he nearly fell over in a heart attack. AM went out the kitchen holding a super jumbo bowl. And inside of it was ramen. All in all, Naruto thought that the bowl could hold 25 regular ramens. AM was stronger than anyone thought. "Here, Naruto-kun. As a thank you, from me to you." AM placed the bowl in front of Naruto. Naruto just looked at the bowl. Shock in his face. Really Aomon-san? This is for me? Naruto asked with drool coming out of his mouth. Aom just giggled and said yes. Naruto quickly grabbed his chopsticks and proceeded to eat. After about 30 minutes of eating, Naruto decided that he would wait until it was 9 o'clock so he could begin learning to cook. Time went by faster as he chatted with Aom. He learned that when she wasn't on duty at Ichiraku, she was busy with her friends or busy looking for new recipes. She was a cooking otaku, or rather a cooking enthusiast as she put it. Naruto only sweat dropped at how she got some of her recipes. She told Naruto that one time, she stumbled into another kitchen and learned a secret recipe in making chili. How it involved cooking deer meat and octopus. Naruto sweat dropped at that. He would probably never try that. He thought to himself. Quickly enough, 9 o'clock came and it was time to close up shop. Naruto came by the kitchen and started learning. He was quick in learning how to chop meat and make basic ramen soup. There was an accident in where Naruto cut his hand. He quickly washed it while Aom bandaged it. But she noticed that his wound was quickly healing. She asked about that, but Naruto answered with an "I don't know." As the 3 hours passed, Naruto could now chop meat, make soup, fillet fish, and chop vegetables. Which surprised Tucci and Aom. He was a really quick learner. 12 o'clock came about and Naruto thanks the father-daughter duo. He quickly headed for his apartment to go to sleep. Sure enough, he was there. He unlocked the door, changed his clothes and jumped in the bed. I'm gonna show them who's boss when our sensei arrives. Count on it. Dadabeo. Naruto thought with a smile as he drifted to sleep. Chapter 3. Team 7. 997, 998, 999, 1000. Naruto shouted as he got up from his training. He wasn't wearing any shirt, so all you could see was his bare chest. He was now muscular for a 13-year-old boy. He wasn't like the guys that do bodybuilding, no. Just muscular. He was wearing camo cargos. Enough pockets to hold a lot of tools and scrolls. He also had what looked like, weight on his shoulders and ankles. He was currently on his 1000th push-up, sweat pouring from his face. He quickly stood up and looked around. There were currently 1,000 Naruto clones doing exercises. 200 clones were walking on water and climbing up trees. While another 200 were busy practicing with their long katana. 100 clones were busy reading scrolls. Then another 100 were out there hunting and skinning animals. While the last 600 clones were busy practicing several jutsus, from C-ranked ones to B-ranked ones. Good thing I learned my elemental affinity, he thought with a smile. He quickly held up his hands in a stop position. Okay guys, I want you to dispel 150 at a time in 1-minute intervals. He ordered. Sure thing boss. The clones resounded. Naruto smiled as the first group dispelled. The wave of information struck Naruto. Naruto held up a single hand to massage his temple. Ugh. He groaned. But quickly shook it off, he didn't have time for a headache. He had a job to do. Okay guys, no goofing around. While you're waiting to be dispelled, continue your training. He ordered as he went over to his clothes. He quickly put them on. First he put on a dark blue muscle shirt that showed his arms. Then he put on an orange coat over it. It was short-sleeved. So his arms could still be seen. It had the standard spiral on its back. Its main color was dark orange. Its sleeves ended with black flames. The coat reached all the way to Naruto's knees. Naruto also had his forehead protector around his neck while his old goggles were on his forehead. He also had his sword on his back, it was strapped on his body though the use of a leather sash under his coat. It also looked like it had weights built into them. He also wore dark blue gloves, similar to those worn by other ninjas, that had metal plates on them. He also visibly grew taller. No longer was he 4'9", he had grown to 5'1" in just 4 weeks. He still had his old blue ninja shoes. His hair also visibly grew. If he didn't have his goggles on, his bangs would cover his forehead. Time to get to work, he said as he headed towards the village at a leisure's pace. The sun was already setting, giving it an orange glow. As Naruto was walking, he heard the sound of a people shouting. Curious as to what was going on, Naruto followed the voices. What he saw made him furious. A group of civilians were haplessly terrorizing a family of foxes. Naruto could see 4 foxes on the ground while 2 other foxes were trying to fight back. Naruto shouted. Hey jackasses. Naruto shouted. Getting the attention of the crowd. What the hell do you think you're doing? He barked. The people merely laughed. We're killing your family. They don't deserve to be here after their leader terrorized us 12 years ago. The man said as he got back to hitting a fox that charged at him, knocking it unconscious. Naruto grit his teeth. I'm warning you. Don't lay a hand on those foxes. Naruto shouted. Drawing his blade and unleashing some killer intent, resulting to the civilians grasping for air. Now leave. Before I kill you all. He ordered. The villagers started running from him. Soon enough, they were gone. Naruto quickly went over the foxes. They looked like they were the same age. They were the same size and had the same fur color. Orange were their colors, orange with their tail tips being black. Naruto quickly carried the unconscious one and the other one. The unconscious fox had several lacerations and 2 broken legs, while the other fox only had 1 broken leg. But no major damage was done. He quickly ran home, hoping to treat the little guys before he got to work. He made it home, unlocked the door, removed his sandals, and placed the foxes in a shoebox. He quickly did a cross-hand sign and poof. 3 more Narutos appeared. Okay. Guys, I want you to look after these foxes while I'm working. Got it? He ordered. The clones merely nodded a yes. Good. Naruto said as he turned around to leave his apartment. Before he got out he heard a yelp from one of the foxes. He simply grinned and walked out. At Naruto's job. Naruto-kun. I need a special. AM said as her head appeared from the door. Naruto quickly handed her a bowl. All done AM-san. Naruto said. AM took the bowl and said thank you. Naruto was then turned around and continued chopping more vegetables. Naruto now worked at Ichiraku Ramen from Monday to Wednesday. From 6 to 10 p.m. Naruto glanced at the wall clock. It was 9:45 p.m. already. Naruto said as he finished chopping the vegetables for the last customer. He then added the vegetables to a still hot and steamy bowl of ramen. At the same time, AM popped her head back in the kitchen. Here it is AM-san. Naruto said as he handed her the bowl. She smiled and took the bowl to the last customer. Naruto smiled back. It's already Wednesday. He thought with a sigh. He suddenly remembered something. Oh yeah. Tomorrow's when we meet our Jounin sensei. He thought with a smile. I wonder what Team 7 sensei is gonna be like. He started imagining the man to be always on time, always treating his students fairly, and always training them. He was snapped out of his daze as he saw AM walk into the kitchen. Naruto-kun, you can go home now. I can close up shop. She said with a smile. Naruto frowned. No. I couldn't do that to you AM-san. Someone as beautiful as you shouldn't be closing up shop. He said with a grin. AM blushed, while Naruto saw her as an older sister. AM, over the course of the month, started thinking of Naruto as a friend. Her blush grew even redder when Naruto's face was suddenly in front of hers. AM-san. Are you okay? You look like you have a fever or something. Naruto told her as he put his hand on her forehead. AM face turned red at the sudden contact. Naruto yelped at the heat. AM-san. You're burning up. You should go home. I'll close up shop. Naruto ordered as he pushed AM towards the exit. No, Naruto-kun, I'm fine. She responded. But Naruto had already pushed her outside. Naruto's face suddenly went red. No AM-san, you are not fine. Go home and take a rest. Tsuchiya-san won't serve me ramen anymore if he found out that I let her sick daughter close up shop. He explained as he closed the door, leaving AM in the streets. AM just sighed. I can't think of Naruto-kun that way. She convinced herself as she went home. 20 minutes later. Naruto had closed up shop and went home. AM-san likes me. He blushed at the thought. But he quickly brushed it aside. At Naruto's apartment. What the fuck happened here? He nearly fainted when he entered his apartment. Naruto's apartment was messy. Sure. But never this messy. Naruto sighed as a fox hid behind his leg. His clones made themselves known by jumping out of different hiding places. They rushed at the fox behind Naruto. Naruto said as he dispelled his clones. 3 poofs later. Naruto was holding the fox like a baby. Naruto cooed at the thing and placed it inside the box. Before he did though, he checked if it was a boy or a girl. It was a boy. Hi. He named the boy Fox. As for the other one, Naruto raised one unbroken leg and checked. Girl. He thought with a smile. He was thinking through names and smiled. Nabi. He named. He let out a yawn. He quickly changed to his pajamas and carried the shoebox carefully to his room. He placed the shoebox by his bed. And quickly plopped down and went to dreamland. The next day. Naruto stretched as his internal clock woke him up. He sat up and looked at his clock. It was still 5 a.m. and the sun wasn't even rising yet. Naruto glanced at the 2 foxes and was shocked to see them running around the floor. They looked perfectly fine, like their wounds healed overnight. How did? Naruto was interrupted from his train of thoughts as Kyuubi told him. I healed them, kid. They are my kind after all. The Kyuubi explained. Naruto was shocked. You going soft on me, Kyuubi? Naruto thought. Kyuubi just grunted. Suddenly, both foxes climbed on his bed and hopped on both his shoulders. Hi on the left and Nabi on the right, he smiled at the 2. You hungry guys? Naruto asked the 2. He heard them yelp as if answering with a yes. Naruto stood up and went over to his kitchen. There he opened the fridge and started looking through his ingredients. 1 hour later. Naruto had cooked a peasant meal. He always thought simpler was better. He had cooked 3 eggs. One for him and one for both foxes. He also had cooked bacon with the eggs. He made orange juice for each of them. They dug in. 30 minutes later they finished their respective meals. Naruto placed the foxes on the couch and told them to wait. They understood him. He took a cold shower and then put on his clothes. He put his forehead protector on around his neck loosely and placed his goggles on his forehead. He walked through the living room headed for the door when he felt 2 weights on his shoulder. Not the weights in them, no. But 2 lighter weights. Naruto glanced and saw his foxes Hai and Nabi on his shoulders. Naruto, not wanting to leave them alone in his house after yesterday, just continued to the door. At the academy. Naruto entered his classroom. Ignoring the gasps of surprise, Naruto took a seat next to Sasuke. Sasuke looked at Naruto with a curious eye, but ignored him as he placed his hands under his chin. Naruto heard the door sliding open and heard 2 people shouting. "I was here first, Ino pig." A bubblegum pink-haired girl shouted at a platinum blonde-haired girl. "Yeah right, forehead. We all know I'm faster than you." She shouted back. They were squeezing themselves through the door. Not wanting the other to pass first. Naruto sighed, he was getting annoyed. His foxes had decided to explore the classroom when he finished his sigh. They jumped down from his shoulders and landed on the desk. The foxes nearly jumped when they heard a loud thud. Sakura and Ino had fallen in. "Ha! I was first." They mirrored each other. "You?" "It was me." They continued. They started yelling again. This continued as they went up the steps and made their way to Sasuke. They stopped when they saw Naruto. "Naruto, please. Get out of that seat." Sakura said with a sickeningly happy smile. "Yes, Naruto. Please, get out of that seat." Ino mirrored. Naruto just stared at the girls. "No." Naruto responded. Both girls looked at Naruto with a death glare, unconsciously leaking their genin-level killer intent. Naruto just smiled at their killer intent and told them his answer again. "No. I will not get out of this seat. And no, Sasuke doesn't like both of you." He repeated with an added bonus. Both girls cocked their hands back and attempted to punch Naruto's lights out. Naruto however merely blocked their punches with his right forearm. "Please don't try to punch me again." Naruto warned as he let out a little of his killer intent. Both girls were gasping for air, along with the entire classroom. As Naruto retracted his arm, he quickly dissipated his kai. Smirking as he heard people breathing heavily. His foxes were now back on his shoulders. Nabi decided to jump in Naruto's hair and sleep, while Hae was still looking back and forth at the classroom. "I suggest finding other seats, girls." Naruto smiled. Both girls merely nodded and moved away from Naruto. As they took their seats, Iruka walked in. "Hello class." 30 minutes later. Team 7 consists of Naruto Uzumaki, Sakura Haruno, and Sasuke Uchiha. Your sensei will be Kakashi Haddock. Iruka was interrupted by a squeal of delight from Sakura and a groan from Sasuke. Iruka coughed and continued. Team 8 consists of Kiba Inuzuka, Hinata Hyuga, and Shino Aburam. Your sensei is Kurenai Yuhi. Kurenai said as she took her team and left. Naruto suddenly noticed something. "Where's our sensei?" he thought, but brushed it aside as Team 9 exited the room. Then finally Team 10 will consist of Iruka was interrupted by Shikamaru. "We know already. Just tell us who our sensei is," he said lazily. Iruka just raised an eyebrow. "Your sensei is Asuma Sarutobi." Asuma stepped up. He led his team to the door. Naruto raised his hand. "Iruka sensei, where's our sensei?" Naruto asked. Iruka just smiled. "He's probably just late. Wait for him inside the classroom," Iruka explained as he left the trio. Naruto just raised an eyebrow as he changed his seat to one that was closer to the window. Sakura quickly took the now vacant seat next to Sasuke. Sakura began asking him out. Sasuke replied with a HN. 2 hours into waiting, Naruto had had enough. He stood up and headed for the door. "Naruto? Where are you going?" "Iruka-sensei told us to wait for our teacher here." Sakura scolded. Naruto growled, both his foxes also growled. "I don't care. If he won't show up, I'll just leave and go train. If you need me, I'll be at our training ground," Naruto declared. Opening the door, only to stop as a man was about to open it. He had gravity-defying silver hair. He wore the standard Jounin uniform. The Jounin vest, blue undershirt. He also wore standard ninja pants and sandals. He had gloves similar to Naruto's, and in one hand, he was reading a bright orange book. Naruto instantly knew it was perverted. He also had a mask covering his face, and his forehead protector was covering one eye. All his imaginations of his sensei shattered. He looked down in defeat as Hai and Nabi tried to comfort him. The man peeked in the room and commented. "My first impressions are, I don't like you," he stated calmly. He turned around and disappeared via Shunshin. His voice echoed. "Meet me at the rooftop in 5 minutes. If you're late you will be punished." It echoed. Sasuke and Sakura went bug-eyed at declaration. Naruto just snickered as he left to head to the roof. At the roof. Naruto had been the first to arrive, followed by Sasuke and Sakura. Kakashi was already there. 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Good. Kakashi smiled. Naruto smiled back. Naruto took a seat by the open-air stairs. While the other two did the same. Kakashi was leaning on the rail, not leaving his book. So why don't you tell me about yourselves, like, dislikes, dream for the future etc. He stated. Sakura raised her hand. Can you go first sensei? Sakura asked. My name is Kakashi Haddock. My likes, dislikes, I don't feel like telling you, my dream for the future, hadn't really thought about it. Kakashi explained. The three genin sweat dropped. He didn't tell us anything. They all thought unanimously. Kakashi signaled at Sakura. You go next Pinky. Kakashi teased. My name is Sakura Haruno. My likes are, glanced at Sasuke and giggled. My dislikes are Naruto and Ino Pig. My dreams for the future are, looks at Sasuke and giggles some more. She explained. Kakashi sweat dropped. The fangirl. Great. He thought sarcastically. Kakashi looked over at Naruto. Your turn Blondie. He teased again. Not really affecting Naruto. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. My likes are Ramen, Ray-chan, Ayamonichan and Tuchi Oji-san, Hokage Oji-san, and training. I also like both these guys. Naruto pointed to his favorite foxes. I also like playing my harmonica. My dislikes are overbreeding assholes that think they're the best at everything. I also dislike liars. My dreams for the future are to be Hokage and be the strongest ninja so everyone will acknowledge me as a person. He explained. Kakashi just smiled. Well Sasuke let out a tch at his dislikes. Your turn Emo. Kakashi told Sasuke. My name is Sasuke Uchiha. My likes are nothing in particular. My dislikes are fangirls and a certain person. My dreams for the future, or rather, my ambition is to kill a certain someone. He finished. Sakura muttered so cool. Under her breath, while Kakashi just sighed. An emo avenger. Great. He thought again. He stood straight up and said. Meet me at training ground 7 at 12:30 p.m. Don't be late and also. Don't eat lunch or you might throw up. He ordered as he left the rooftop via Shunshin. What did he say? Sakura asked. Shock on her face. Training ground 7. 12:30 p.m. No lunch. Naruto repeated as he jumped from the rooftop. Landing on the adjacent building, he continued jumping rooftop to rooftop. Before he disappeared from view, Sasuke had also left the rooftop right after Kakashi. Leaving Sakura alone on the rooftop. 1:30 p.m. Training ground 7. Where's Kakashi-sensei and Naruto Baka? Sakura shouted in frustration. She had arrived at 12:30 p.m. exactly while Sasuke followed soon after. Sasuke was sitting on a branch while Sakura was pacing below the branch he was sitting on. Hey guys. Sorry I'm late. Naruto appeared from behind a tree. Sakura jumped in surprise. Baka. Where were you? Sakura let out an ear-splitting scream. Naruto stuck a finger in his ears and proceeded to clean it. No need to shout Sakura. I just figured out he would be late again. So I came by Ichiraku to get a bite to eat. He explained as he sat by a nearby tree, taking out his harmonica. You ate lunch. But Kakashi-sensei told us not to. Sakura shouted again. Naruto merely ignored her and started playing his harmonica. Its melody was slow and beautiful. It was like a boy was crying over his life. Naruto continued. Fastening the melody to like he was running from people, running from his death. Naruto stopped playing as he saw Sasuke, Sakura and Kakashi were staring at him. He put away his harmonica in one of his pockets. Kakashi smiled at Naruto. You play good Naruto. Kakashi stated, earning a nod from Sakura. Sasuke jumped down from the tree to face his sensei. Sakura turned towards Kakashi also. Naruto just sat by the tree. Kakashi grabbed something from behind him and revealed it to be 2 bells. We'll have a test. If you fail, you go back to the academy, if you pass, then you're genins. Kakashi explained. Sasuke and Sakura went bug-eyed. Sakura raised her hand. But didn't we already become a genin? We passed the genin tests. Sakura asked. Fear apparent in her voice. That was to see if you learned anything from the academy. This is the real genin test. He stated. To make it simple, get the bells from me. You pass. Fail to get a bell you fail, any questions? Kakashi asked as he put the bells by his hip. Sakura raised her hand again. But there are only 2 bells. Sakura pointed out. Yep. So that means one of you is going back to the academy. Kakashi smiled. Sasuke and Sakura were shocked. Naruto just smiled at the man. I absolutely need to get one of those bells. Sasuke screamed in his head. Kakashi held out his hands, 3 fingers standing up. 3, 2, 1, begin. Remember. Come at me with the intent to kill. Kakashi shouted as his hand closed. He quickly pulled out his book and stood rooted to the spot. Sasuke and Sakura jumped out of the way and hid. Naruto, however, was still sitting by the tree, playing with Hae and Nabi. Kakashi raised a non-visible eyebrow. "Aren't you going to hide, Naruto?" Kakashi asked, still not taking his eye away from his book. "No need, Kakashi-sensei. I already figured out how to pass this test," Naruto said as he put down Hae and Nabi. He sent them off into the forest to play. "Oh, did you now?" Kakashi asked sarcastically. Naruto stood up and dusted himself. "Yep. But this test isn't just about that. I figured you're going to see if we're any good individually too." Naruto quickly drew his 4-foot-long katana and held it in front of his face sideways, both hands on the hilt. "Oh. That's a dangerous toy, Naruto. Are you sure you should be playing with that?" Kakashi teased. Naruto just smiled as he bended his body backwards. Kakashi actually took his eye off his book to look at what Naruto was doing. "Ninjutsu. A Saike's no kata. Weapon technique. Shallow wind cutter," Naruto shouted as he swung his sword in a circular motion. As the tip of the blade moved past Kakashi's standing form, a wave of piercing wind came flying out, surprising all three people. "What the? I've never seen a move like that before," Kakashi thought in a panic as he jumped to avoid the crescent-shaped technique. He was surprised at the sheer force of the move. It was cutting the grass below without touching them. He was so busy looking that he didn't notice Naruto had jumped to his height too. "Kakashi-sensei, I don't play around with this," Naruto said, already in mid-swing. Kakashi put away his book and grabbed a kunai just in time and blocked the attack. "Surprising. You're faster than what your teachers said you will be. Also, they didn't tell me you knew Kinjutsu," Kakashi stated as he pushed back against Naruto's sword. Landing on the ground, still at a battle-ready stance, Naruto however landed on a tree branch, still at his sword stance. "Yeah, that tends to happen when you train in something," Naruto stated back at Kakashi, who smiled. "Well, I guess that I have to take you a bit more seriously," he stated. Kakashi took off at a breakneck speed. Rushing at Naruto, who only watched at what Kakashi was doing. Kakashi jumped at Naruto, kunai poised to strike. Naruto had put away his sword and did a cross-hand sign. "Age Bunshin no Jutsu," Naruto shouted. Suddenly, 4 more Narutos appeared on the tree branch. Kakashi just continued his attack. "Scatter," Naruto shouted. All the Narutos now jumped down the branch, while Kakashi used his momentum to turn around and stick his feet on the tree. All the Narutos disappeared from the clearing, resulting in Kakashi raising an invisible eyebrow. "Now where did he go?" Kakashi asked to no one as he pulled out his favorite book. He had jumped down the tree and started walking back to the clearing. He suddenly ducked at the incoming kunais and shurikens. "Nice try, Sasuke," Kakashi said with his back turned. A rustling of leaves indicated that he left his hiding spot. Another rustling of leaves were heard from another spot, indicating that Sakura had left also. Kakashi quickly did a cross-hand sign. 2 more Kakashis poofed into existence. "Follow both of them," he ordered lazily, while his clones took off. "But Sasuke. Got you now," Sasuke screamed as he charged in front of Kakashi, who was still reading his book. Sasuke quickly attempted to punch the man in the face, only to be blocked by Kakashi by grabbing his fist with his free right hand. Sasuke wasn't finished as he twisted his body, his left leg coming for Kakashi's ribs. "Good. His taijutsu is good," Kakashi thought as he put away his book to block the kick with his left forearm. Kakashi punched Sasuke's chest, sending him flying back. Sasuke wasn't finished yet as he quickly did hand signs, finishing with the tiger seal. "Pain. Gwakyu no Jutsu. Fire release. Great fireball jutsu," he shouted as he put his right hand in front of his mouth. "That's a B-rank ninjutsu. They didn't teach that in the academy," Kakashi thought as he finished a few hand signs. Sasuke blew through his hand and out came a giant fireball that was coming towards Kakashi, scorching the ground as it pushed forward. Kakashi suddenly held his hand out in a stop motion. "Pain. Kai. Fire release. Release." The fireball quickly dissipated. Revealing an untouched Kakashi, Sasuke growled in frustration. "Pain. Kai. Its use is defensive. It can quickly destroy any D to B rank fire techniques," Kakashi explained. He quickly finished hand signs and disappeared from Sasuke's point of view. "Where are you?" Sasuke shouted in frustration. Sasuke felt a hand grab his foot and dragged him in the ground. His head was the only visible part of his body that you could see. Kakashi dug out the ground, revealing him to have been under Sasuke the whole time. Kakashi said lazily as he walked away from Sasuke. "Hey. Let me out of here," Sasuke shouted to deaf ears. "Maybe later," Kakashi said lazily as he stopped walking behind a tree. A quick hand sign later. He poofed out of existence. But Sakura. No. Sasuke-kun. Sakura shouted as she held her hands in front of her eyes. Kakashi's sweat dropped. Her teacher said she was the best in using genjutsus. I guess they lied. He thought. He found out where Sakura had gone and heard her muttering about Sasuke. So he decided to use a little genjutsu, which caused her to see a dying Sasuke coming for help. Kakashi sighed as he heard another scream come from Sakura. Better put her out of her misery. He sighed again as he chopped the back of her neck, knocking her unconscious. He sighed again as he poofed out of existence. But the real Kakashi. Well. That was embarrassing. Kakashi said to no one in particular. The memories of his clones had come back to him and reviewed his students' actions. At least Sasuke was able to fight back. He said as he continued reading. He didn't pay attention to the white rabbit that moved in front of him. The rabbit stopped and looked at Kakashi, who couldn't see the rabbit because of his book. The rabbit grinned and poofed into white smoke. Kakashi jumped in surprise, dropping his book. Out of the smoke came Naruto. He quickly grabbed the book and tore it into two. Kakashi just watched in horror at what he saw. "Ooh!" he shouted. Kakashi quickly did several hand signs. Ending it with a tiger symbol, he shouted. "Pain. Gwakyu no Jutsu." He shouted as he put his hand by his mouth. A huge ball of fire suddenly shot out towards Naruto, who couldn't dodge. The fireball struck true as it hit Naruto, engulfing him, burning his body. The fireball continued its course. It finally stopped when it hit a tree. Kakashi panicked as he saw Naruto slump down on the tree, third-degree burns on his body. He quickly ran towards him, only to be stopped by a quick kick to the jaw. Out of the corner of his eyes he saw a flash of blue and white. He turned and saw that Sasuke had hit him. He was sent hurtling towards the tree he had been next to. He heard a puff of smoke and turned towards Naruto, who wasn't there anymore. Shadow clone. Then where he was taken out of his thoughts as Naruto appeared in front of him, arm poised to strike. He quickly brought his hands up in an X position as Naruto thrust his hand forward. Kakashi's visible eye closed as the impact sent him straight through the tree. Sweet Kami, his strength is impossible. Only Tsunade could do that at his age. Kakashi thought as he regained his composure. He quickly glanced up to see Sasuke was charging towards him. He couldn't see Naruto as Sasuke was blocking his view. Sasuke quickly jumped into the air, revealing that Naruto was right behind him, arm cocked back, ready for another punch. Sasuke had his leg up in the air as he descended upon Kakashi. Kakashi quickly dived out of the way as Naruto's fist stretched out, resulting in a shockwave that damaged trees and branches flew. Wine chakra? Kakashi thought. Then he noticed something. He quickly brought a hand by his hip where the bells were supposed to be, only to find it not there. He looked at Naruto and Sasuke, who were joined by Sakura holding the bells. She gave one of the bells to Sasuke. Kakashi sighed. He was bested. "Well, Naruto, it looks like you don't have a bell," Kakashi stated. Naruto just sat down and wrote on a notebook, which appeared out of nowhere. "Yep, I don't have a bell, but I still pass. Because I was the one who made them work together with me," Naruto stated with a grin. Kakashi sighed. He got him there. But that doesn't mean he can get away with destroying his precious book. True. But, I'm gonna get my revenge," Kakashi said as he appeared behind Naruto and carried him towards a post. He quickly tied Naruto to the post. Pull out 3 bento boxes and handed 2 to Sasuke and Sakura. He just let one on the floor. "Remember. Those who disobey the rules are scum. But those who abandon their friends are worse than scum," he stated as he turned around and left the training ground. Naruto sighed and quickly slid under the ropes, which surprised Sakura and Sasuke. "I'm not hungry. You can eat that if you want." He pointed to the bento box. He quickly sat down again and started writing on his notebook. Unable to resist her urge to see what was being written, Sakura took a look inside the notebook. She saw a drawing of the technique that Naruto used earlier on Kakashi. What was it called? A Saike's no. Something. She thought. She decided to ask Naruto about it. "Naruto, what was that move you used on Kakashi-sensei, the one with your sword?" she asked. Naruto just smiled. "You mean a Saike's no kata? That was just a deviation on a C-rank Fuiitan move. Still, that move still needs to be refined," he said as he went back to writing on his notebook. "What's inside the book, dope?" Sasuke asked, interested at what was being written. "Just a few jutsu ideas, most of them are deviations of different jutsus, back I have made a few of my own," Naruto explained. His eyes suddenly grew wide, he turned the page to the Saike's no kata page and started rapidly writing, surprising Sakura at the sudden move. "I got it," he shouted as he stood up and drew his sword. Sasuke just looked at him with a curious eye. What dope?" he asked. Naruto quickly took his stance and bended backwards. "Genjutsu? A Saike's no kata," Naruto shouted. He started spinning in a circular direction. not stopping until he spun for the 10th time. When he did, his sword let out a howling wave of wind. That was 5 feet in width and 2 feet in height. It rocketed towards the forest. It cut through 4 trees before dissipating on the 5th. This all happened in the span of 10 seconds. Sasuke just looked at Naruto with a jealous eye. Adobe. If I had that power I could kill Itachi. He roared in his head. Sakura was still recovering from the shock of seeing Naruto do that. Yada. I did it. Naruto jumped for joy. Hiei and Nabi appeared from out of the woods and jumped on Naruto's shoulder. Sasuke just glared at the notebook that was left on the ground. Naruto quickly grabbed the book and took off. Sorry guys. I'm running late for my training. Naruto shouted as he disappeared on the horizon. At the Hokage Tower. Team 1 failed. Team 2 passed, barely. Team 3 failed. That was pathetic. Team 4 failed. Team 5 passed. Team 6 failed. Team 7 passed, with flying colors. Kakashi said. A lot of Jounins just stared at him, wondering if they begged for him to pass them. Team 8 passed. Team 10 passed. Asuma finished. Sarutobi smiled. It looks like we'll be fine. Sarutobi thought as he smiled even wider. Alright, dismissed. The elder man ordered. One by one the Jounins turned to leave. Except for you Kakashi. Sarutobi said with a serious face. Kakashi stood in front of the desk where the Hokage sat. How were they? The elder man asked. Kakashi just smiled. They were good. Sasuke was good at close quarters. He even surprised me with a B-rank Kaiten jutsu. Sakura was, well, Kakashi waved his hand in the air. Like a boat that was rocking. Naruto however, really surprised me. He not only displayed skill with his sword but also real leadership skills. His strength was enormous, though I think he used a different form of chakra than Tsunade uses. I saw that he used wind chakra with most of his attacks. How did he come about to learn elemental manipulation? That is only thought when one reaches Chunin level. Kakashi finished with a question. Sarutobi smiled. Well, a lot can happen with training and shadow clones. Sarutobi said. Kakashi just shrugged. Very well, dismissed. Sarutobi ordered. Sasuke. Where is that dope? He shouted in frustration as he ran through the different training grounds. He was currently looking for Naruto. To find out how strong he was. He stopped for a breath of air and sat down. He closed his eyes and began to breath. Running at full speed for the last 2 hours took its toll. It was currently 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sasuke was still breathing when he heard a squeal. Sasuke-kun. Sasuke opened his eyes to see Ino running towards him. He tried standing up but his legs quickly gave out. She quickly engulfed him in a bone-crushing hug. Did you come all the way here to see me? Ino said, not letting go of Sasuke, who was already turning blue. Ino, if you don't stop hugging him, I doubt he'll be able to see anything at all. A lazy voice made itself known. Sasuke looked up and saw Shikamaru and Choji along with their Jounin sensei. Ino pouted and let go of Sasuke, who let in a deep breath. Sasuke, just what are you doing in training ground 10? Choji asked. Sasuke just sighed and responded. I'm looking for Naruto. Any of you guys seen him? He asked. Shikamaru muttered a troublesome. He's probably at training ground 30 at this time of day. Shikamaru said. Sasuke was about to stand up and leave. But then he heard another scream. Sasuke-kun. Sakura's voice shouted. Sasuke turned to the forest and sure enough, Sakura appeared. She started huffing. Sasuke huff-kun. Why huff did you huff run like that? She finished. Finally regaining her composure she repeated. Sasuke-kun, why did you just take off like that? Sakura asked. Sasuke was about to respond when Ino decided to answer. Probably to see me and run away from you forehead. Ino teased. Sakura fumed. I doubt that Ino pig. Like he'd run from me to see a pig. Sakura retorted. It was Ino's turn to fume. But just as she was about to respond, Kakashi suddenly materialized between them, scaring the shit out of the two. Yo. Was his greeting. Sasuke just sighed. I just wanted to find Naruto. He thought as he heard the two girls arguing again. Sasuke, have you seen Naruto? Kakashi said, not bothering about the two girls behind him. Yeah, they said he was in try he was cut off by the sound of an explosion. The Jounins quickly grabbed their genins and threw them on the ground while they themselves jumped on the ground. All 7 of them felt an enormous shockwave wash just above their faces. They saw in the sky a few trees had been uprooted while the trees near them were getting battered. Kakashi noted that the trees were also getting sliced up from the shockwave. As the shockwave died down, Kakashi and Asuma took off towards the source. They quickly passed by training grounds 11 to 28. They stopped at training ground 29, or rather what was left of training ground 29. They looked around but saw nothing. As in nothing, the trees that were supposed to be there either were uprooted and flew somewhere else or sliced to itty-bitty little pieces. They walked through the now uneven terrain. They noted that the terrain had raised and lowered somewhat. As they drew closer to training ground 30, where the source of the damage was most visible, they quickly drew their weapons. A kunai for Kakashi and 2 trench knives by Asuma. They were joined by Kurenai and Guy, along as some Anbu officers. They thought that they were being attacked. But as they walked towards training ground 30, they saw orange. Talking. Ugh. My head. Naruto woke up in a daze. He suddenly remembered he was practicing his new jutsu. His eyes snapped open, he quickly sat up. And all he saw were white walls everywhere. Ah, Naruto-kun, you're awake. Naruto turned his head to see the Hokage sitting by his bed. Naruto raised his eyebrows. Oji-san. Where am I? What happened? I was training and then. I don't know. Something happened. Naruto asked in confusion. Sarutobi only looked at the boy with a serious face. Naruto-kun, did you see who attacked you? Was it a Konoha shinobi? Sarutobi asked with seriousness. Naruto just looked at the elder man with confusion. Attacked me? Oji-san, what are you talking about? I was only practicing the jutsu I made. Naruto explained. Sarutobi just looked at the boy with a gaping mouth. What did you say? Sarutobi asked. Not believing his ears. I made a new jutsu. And I was practicing how to use it. Naruto stated. The old man nearly fell over and died with a heart attack. But he regained his composure. Naruto-kun, you suffered extreme chakra loss and exhaustion. You're telling me that happened because of a jutsu you invented? The old Hokage asked. Not wanting to believe a boy at the age of 13 invented an S-class jutsu. Oji-san, I don't want to repeat myself. So just look at my notebook. Naruto stated. He quickly checked his pockets and noticed he didn't have any. His cloths had been replaced with a normal patient's gown. He sighed, how he hated hospitals. Oji-san, how long have I been here? Naruto asked. The older man replied. About 2 days, Naruto-kun. You see why I don't believe you made that jutsu? I know you have cage-level chakra reserves. And you suffered chakra exhaustion. Now Naruto-kun, I don't want you using that jutsu again. Not only is it dangerous to its owner, but it causes unnecessary damage to the area around the user. It may harm innocent civilians and even your allies and friends. Do you understand, Naruto? Sarutobi asked with seriousness. Naruto just looked at him and smiled. If I can hurt my friends with that jutsu, then I won't use it, only as a last resort. Naruto said, smiling. Sarutobi smiled back. I'm glad you understand, Naruto-kun. He said as he stood up and headed for the door. Naruto started muttering about something. Sarutobi heard, hospital and hate, and also hi and Nabi. He grabbed the knob and opened the door. Also, Naruto-kun, if I find out that you try to escape the hospital again and you're not fully healed, I will personally put you back. Sarutobi warned Naruto, who only gulped in fear. The old man closed the door, leaving Naruto all alone. He suddenly heard someone by the window. Turning to it, he didn't see anything. Must be my imagination. He thought. He sighed and heard the door opening. He turned to see Team 7 and 10 enter. Kakashi had Hai and Nabi on his shoulders. Hey guys. Can I help you? Naruto asked with a smile. Sakura quickly approached Naruto and bonked his head. Normally, Naruto would have fought back, but he was still recovering and decided not to fight back. Sakura shouted. Baka. Don't you know what you did? She shouted a question. Naruto just tilted his head to the side, not understanding her. The hell are you talking about? And also don't hit me again. Naruto asked, warned Sakura. Hai and Nabi jumped down from Kakashi's shoulders and went to Naruto's. Naruto smiled and patted their heads. Nabi decided to jump in Naruto's hair again. She quickly fell asleep on his head. Sakura had started ranting about something, but Naruto decided to ignore her. She finished ranting and Naruto raised a hand by his ear and bended it in a C shape. Did you say something? Naruto asked in a teasing voice. Before she could rant again, Kakashi spoke up. Naruto, you nearly gave us a heart attack. What happened anyway? Did you get attacked by an enemy ninja? Kakashi asked. The whole room looked at Naruto with a curious eye. Naruto just smiled. No. I just really got into my training. Was Naruto's reply. Sasuke nearly shouted his demand to show him his training regimen, but Asuma interrupted him. Well, seeing as you're getting out of the hospital in a day, me and Kakashi here decided to take all of you in your first C-ranked mission. Dad saw that you guys were capable of taking a C-ranked mission when you're together. We'll be leaving on Monday. Asuma said. Naruto just sighed. I hate hospitals, I can't train when I'm in here. He thought with a sigh. They heard the door open to reveal a girl with brown hair. She was the age of the Genins there and an older woman with purple hair. They were both wearing the standard nurse uniforms. Naruto looked at the older woman with a curious eye. She smiled at Naruto, who was still busy looking at her. Kakashi suddenly tensed as they approached Naruto. It looks like Kakashi-sensei knows her. Naruto thought. The woman quickly grabbed the chart by Naruto's bed. Naruto-kun, it looks like you're healing up nicely. The woman said. Naruto suddenly remembered her. Nico-san? Naruto asked. The woman looked at the boy in surprise. But she quickly shook it off as the other girl called for her attention. Kakashi looked at Naruto with his visible eye with surprise. Shikamaru and Choji decided to sit at the corner and play shogi while Asuma watched. Ino-Sakura was still bugging Sasuke about going on a date with him. But Shikamaru heard what Naruto called the woman. Would you call her Nico Naruto? Shikamaru asked, not taking his eye off the board. The purple-haired woman looked at Naruto with pleading eyes. Oh right, she's Anbu, can't reveal her identity. Naruto thought with a sigh. She has cats that sometimes come into my house. Naruto lied and hid in a grin. Shikamaru immediately knew it was a lie. He just sighed. Troublesome. Checkmate Choji. Shikamaru said as he looked out the window. Choji just looked at the board desperately trying to find a way to escape. But couldn't. He sighed in defeat as he started fixing the pieces in position again. Asuma laughed at the sight. Kakashi was currently talking to the purple-haired woman while Naruto was chatting with the brown-haired nurse. Upon a closer look, she had brown hair that reached just by her shoulders, her eye color was also brown. So, why haven't I seen you in the academy? Naruto asked the girl. The girl just looked at Naruto with a serious eye. I never attended, was her reply. So you decided to be a nurse? Naruto asked. The girl looked at Naruto with an annoyed eye. I don't have to tell you. She retorted. Naruto sighed. Great. She's mad at me. Naruto thought and sighed. He was so busy in his thought that he didn't hear the purple-haired woman approach him and lean by his ear to whisper something. Please don't tell anyone about me Naruto-kun. She whispered by his ear in a sexy tone. Naruto's face turned red. Her voice was really sexy. He thought. She stood up straight, then Naruto finally noticed her face. It was heavenly, he thought. Her face had no blemishes, no pimples, no nothing. She also had purple eyes. She was beautiful, simple as that. The brown-haired girl quickly came over to her to whisper something, which made her giggle. Naruto looked at the woman with a curious eye. She placed the clipboard on the end table next to Naruto's bed. She quickly walked over to Kakashi to tell him something. Kakashi eye smiled. Kakashi walked over to Naruto, who only looked at him with a curious eye. Well Naruto, it looks like you can leave in just half a day. That's what she told me. It appears as though you're healing faster than most. Kakashi repeated what she told him. Naruto grinned, he looked so happy it looked like he was a sadistic. Yada. I don't have to stay in here. Naruto shouted. Almost jumping out of his bed. Kakashi eye smiled while the two nurses left the two groups. They heard a crash through the window. They turned to the window and saw Sasuke jump out the window while Ino and Sakura were leaning out the window. Sasuke-kun. They both shouted through the window. Sasuke landed on the building next to the hospital. Kakashi and Asuma laughed at his desperate attempt to escape their students. Later that day. "Aw man, it's good to be out here again," Naruto said stretching his arms. Behind him was Team 7. Kakashi and Sakura were talking while Sasuke was brooding again. Kakashi suggested that they do some D-rank missions. Naruto was excited at the idea of doing missions. They arrived at the Hokage tower and knocked on the Hokage's door. Enter. They heard from behind the door. Naruto was the first to step in. He saw the Hokage behind clones that were doing paperwork, he smiled at the scene. Kakashi just sweat dropped. Why the hell hadn't I thought of that? Kakashi thought. Naruto saw him bow his head in shame. He grinned and turned to the Hokage. Hyoji-san. Naruto shouted. His twin foxes yipped in unison at the old man. Sakura and Sasuke cringed at how he addressed the Hokage. Naruto. You should treat Hokage-sama with respect. Sakura scolded. Naruto meanwhile was talking to the old man. He turned when he heard Sakura say something. Did you say something Sakura? Naruto asked with a grin. Sakura just sighed at his antics. Sasuke just kept brooding. Kakashi snapped out of his daze and quickly asked the Hokage. Hokage-sama, we request a D-rank mission. Kakashi said with formality. Sarutobi smiled at Kakashi. Okay, Kakashi. Hiruzen smiled. 15 D-ranked missions later. Team 7 was walking through the streets with a captured Tora in a cage, being held by Kakashi. Naruto just sighed. That's the 5th time she escaped from the daimyo's wife. Naruto said. Sasuke and Sakura only nodded in unison. 5 of their missions involved catching Tora the cat. Kakashi just smiled at his team. You know, you guys have caught him faster than most teams had in years. Kakashi said, hoping to raise their morale. Naruto pulled out his harmonica and started playing. The noisy cat in the cage suddenly stopped struggling and started listening to Naruto's music. Even bystanders stopped what they were doing to listen to Naruto. He was playing a soft melody. It was slow and sorrowful, it gave them fatigue just by listening to his music. Then Naruto started playing a happy tune, it encouraged people to dance, which most kids did. They were dancing around Team 7 while had fallen asleep. Naruto then stopped playing as they had arrived at their destination. They quickly climbed up the stairs and knocked on the Hokage's door. Enter. They entered the Hokage's room only to see Team 10 was there also. Also the daimyo's wife was still fretting over the lost cat. Kakashi handed over the cage and, after a few payments, the daimyo's wife left. Okay. Teams 7 and 10 are here. It's time to meet your client. Hiruzen said. He signaled for the door. A few moments later, an old man, wearing a dirty brown shirt and white shorts, as well as having a rope tied around his head entered. He had a bottle of sake in his hand and it was obvious he was drunk. You mean, this pipsqueaks are gonna escort me? I feel sorry for the blonde idiotic ones and the fat one. He pointed to Naruto, Ino, and Choji. Naruto held back his anger, while Ino and Choji were being held in place by Asuma, saying something about don't kill the client. With all due respect Tazuna-san, these are very capable genins. Kakashi I smiled at the older man. Tazuna just let out a tch. Sir, if you don't trust us as escorts, then why don't you increase the pay so Chuninins or Jounins can take the mission? Naruto asked. Irritated that the man didn't trust them. He saw Tazuna tense, while the genins that knew Naruto looked at him in shock. Naruto had actually made a very valid point. Sweet Kami. Is the world ending? The genins in the room all thought. The older males just looked at Tazuna, wanting an answer. That's none of your goddamn business, brat. Tazuna shouted as he walked out the door and slammed it. The people in the room looked at the door that was slammed, confused. Naruto. What the hell is wrong with you? Ino shouted at Naruto. Nice move Naruto, now our client hates us. Shikamaru said lazily. Naruto baka. Would you go and do that? Sakura shouted. Nice work dope, you pissed off the client. Guess you won't be getting your cut. Sasuke said with a smirk. Naruto wasn't paying attention, he looked like he was in deep thought. Can you guys wait outside? I want to talk to Kakashi-sensei, Asuma-sensei, and Oji-san alone. He said with seriousness in his voice. The genins looked at Naruto in confusion. Why Naruto? Is something wrong? Choji asked, munching on his chips. Naruto's eyes just remained serious. Please guys. I really need to talk them alone. Naruto pleaded with them. Shikamaru sighed. He quickly headed for the door. He exited, followed by the others. Finally the last of the genin to leave, Sasuke turned around. Make it quick dope. We still have training to do. He said as he shut the door. Hiruzen was about to ask a question before Naruto interrupted him. Oji-san, please make this room soundproof. Naruto requested. Hiruzen looked at the boy with a curious eye. He finally sighed and threw a piece of paper with the kanji for sound written on it towards the wall. It stuck there and Hiruzen quickly did the rabbit hand seal. The walls glowed before dying down. Okay Naruto-kun. What did you want to talk about? Hiruzen asked. It's about the mission. It's supposed to be S-class. Kakashi and Asuma's eyes widened. Outside the room. What are they saying? Do you hear anything? Sakura asked Ino, they currently had drinking glasses by their ears. It was obvious they wanted to know what the hell was happening inside. No. I can't hear anything. Ino replied. Sasuke and Shikamaru decided to play shogi. Shikamaru always had a board hidden inside his cloth somewhere. Choji was watching while eating chips, Sasuke was on the run from Shikamaru, which always means he'll win. Sasuke, checkmate. Shikamaru said as he moved a piece. He lied on his back in a relaxing position. Sasuke was busy analyzing the board. He sighed in defeat. Choji placed a hand on Sasuke's shoulder. I know that feeling too. He said. Sasuke sighed again. How he hated losing. They heard the door click open, Sakura and Ino quickly dropped the glasses, quickly shattering them. The three boys sighed at their antics. The door opened revealing Naruto accompanied by Kakashi and Asuma, all with a look of seriousness. Get in here. Kakashi ordered. They quickly followed. They all lined in front of the Hokage. The Hokage was sitting on the chair with his eyes closed. I need your words, do you swear to protect the bridge builder Tazuna with your lives? Hiruzen asked with seriousness in his voice. The genins all gulped in fear. Except Naruto, who was currently behind Kakashi and Asuma. This isn't a C-ranked mission, isn't it Hokage-sama? Shikamaru asked. No questions. Just answer mine. Will you protect the bridge builder with your lives? Hiruzen asked again, his voice deeper and louder than before. Yes, Hokage-sama. All the genins shouted. Hiruzen smiled. Then prepare to leave on Monday. Hiruzen said with a smile. Out on the streets. Geez. That was scary. Choji said as he was munching on his chips. Ino just nodded in agreement. Shikamaru muttered a troublesome. Team 7 and 10 decided to discuss their mission plan over lunch. Asuma and Kakashi were currently talking with each other. They were at the back. Naruto was ahead of the group. Not paying attention to the villagers. Shikamaru was right behind him. Choji was beside him while Ino and Sakura were talking about, not Sasuke. They were talking about what to bring to their mission. Sasuke was still brooding behind the Genins. So where are we going? Naruto suddenly asked. They all looked at each other. I was following you. They said as they pointed to each other, causing Kakashi and Asuma to laugh. Arg. Choji shouted in frustration. He was getting hungry and now they were arguing where to eat. All the arguing about food only made him hungrier. Sasuke suggested that they eat in a canteen. All canteens were cheap and served healthy foods. Ino and Sakura immediately agreed with him. Shikamaru suggested they find a BBQ shop. They didn't need to go too far, they served good tasting food, it was cheap and also would fulfill their hunger needs. Kakashi suggested they just skip lunch, earning him a death glare from Choji. Asuma backed up Shikamaru's decision. Naruto finally said. Why not Ichiraku ramen? He suggested. He suddenly got a death glare from everyone. Sakura was about to shout at Naruto, but she was interrupted. What? It's close by, it's cheap, I could probably hook you guys up so we don't have to pay anything, it's tasty and healthy, if you don't eat too much of it at least, plus it could fill us all up. He explained. The others looked at him dumbfounded. That place filled everything they wanted. They just sighed in defeat. Fine Naruto, we go with your idea. We eat at Ichiraku. Kakashi finalized. Naruto just grinned and led the way. At Ichiraku ramen. Hey Am-chan. Tuchi Oji-san. Naruto shouted as he entered the stall. Am popped her head out of the kitchen. Hi there Naruto-kun. The regular right. Am said with a smile. Not today Am-chan. I just need to feed my friends here. Naruto motioned for them to enter. Am looked at Naruto with a questioning eye. Okay, then Naruto-kun. I'll put their checks on your tab. Am said with a smile. Her head popped back in the kitchen. The group heard two people talking, one was Am's voice, while the other sounded like an older man's voice. A few minutes later, an older man stepped out of the kitchen with a small notebook and pen by his hand. Okay, I'm Tuchi, now what'll you have? He asked. Before anyone could order anything though, Naruto quickly harumphed his throat, gaining Tuchi's attention. Tuchi Oji-san. I was wondering if I could cook for them? Naruto asked with a smile. Tuchi just smiled. Are you sure Naruto? I mean you never know what'll happen. Tuchi asked with seriousness. But his face was smiling like a maniac. Yeah, I'm sure. Naruto looked at him with a maniacal smile. Naruto's companions gulped their throats. What had we gotten ourselves into? They all thought in unison. Naruto just entered the kitchen while Tuchi was talking to the group. So, what brings you all here? Tuchi asked with a smile. The group quickly took their seats, Kakashi and Asuma on opposite ends. Sasuke next to Kakashi. Sakura and Ino were fighting over who gets to seat next to him. Shikamaru and Choji sat next to Asuma, Shikamaru being right next to him. Kakashi answered the question. We just wanted to discuss what to do during our mission. Kakashi said. Tuchi just nodded. Well, your food will probably be out in 5 minutes. Tuchi explained, writing on his notebook. Kakashi just smiled. Sasuke had took to breeding again, while Sakura won the seat next to Sasuke. Ino, being the defeated, sighed and took a seat next to Choji. 5 minutes later, Naruto brought out 8 ramen bowls. All large-sized. Naruto smiled as he handed out the food. Am stepped out of the kitchen to watch their reaction to Naruto's cooking. Naruto had moved over the stall and seated between Ino and Sakura. Eat up guys. Naruto shouted as he ate his cooking. Hiei and Nabi jumped down on the table and started staring at Naruto's bowl. Naruto quickly took out 2 small bowls and dipped them in his bowl. He gave one bowl to Hiei and the other to Nabi. The foxes quickly digged in, letting out a yip of happiness. The others however, were reluctant to eat. Save for Choji. Who was stuffing his face with the food. Naruto. Is your food safe to eat? Sasuke asked, not wanting to eat his cooking. Am looked at Sasuke with an annoyed face. We taught him how to cook, so if you don't trust his cooking, then you don't trust our cooking. Am said with a wickedly sweet smile. Sasuke's sweat dropped as Am's face darkened. Kakashi had finished his bowl, without anyone noticing that he took off his mask. Ino was the first to eat and comment. This is she stopped as she stared at the bowl. Sakura, Sasuke, Shikamaru and Asuma leaned in to listen to her comment. Delicous. She finished as she started eating. Sakura and Sasuke looked at the bowl and started eating. They found out that the ramen had the perfect amount of spices, the perfect amount of spiciness. And the perfect amount of filling. All in all, the ramen was perfect. Asuma just smiled and started eating. Naruto had finished his bowl and decided not to eat anymore. He looked up at AM, who was looking at Naruto, and smiled. AM looked away with a blush on her face. Gucci saw this and smiled. Tucci went over to AM and whispered something. AM's eyes widened and her face turned red. AM quickly entered the kitchen, her head low, to hide her blush. Tucci let out a hearty laugh at AM's actions. Tucci just eyed at Naruto, who smiled at him. Tucci smiled back, with a real smile. He nodded his head, like telling Naruto okay. After eating and discussing their plan on the mission, they decided to go their separate ways and train individually. Naruto, Shikamaru, and Choji decided to get more training done. Sakura and Ino just followed Sasuke. While Kakashi and Asuma decided to find their friends. Naruto, Shikamaru and Choji decided to head to training ground 13 to train. Naruto quickly did a cross-hand sign and out came 1500 Narutos. This is gonna be a long day. TCH, troublesome. Shikamaru told Choji. Choji just nodded in agreement. 2 days later. God damn it. I'm late. Naruto shouted as he ran through Konoha streets. His morning was hell. He woke up 2 hours later than usual, as foxes decided to leave a present on the floor, which caused Naruto to slip and fall on it. He had no hot water. He didn't eat breakfast. Then after training, his clones decided to become jackasses and dispel all at once, all 2000 of them. Which caused Naruto a very painful headache. He passed out, he woke up and it was already 3 p.m. Damn it. He shouted again as he dodged more people to get to his destination. After about 5 minutes of dodging, he finally stopped in front of a stall. He began breathing steadily. He looked up and saw who he was looking for. Hey Jayuki. Naruto shouted as he regained his composure. Jayuki turned around and smiled at Naruto. Hey, you're late. Ray was starting to get worried that you wouldn't show up. Jayuki stated. Naruto was about to speak up but he was interrupted by a voice behind him. Naruto-kun. Naruto turned around only to be engulfed in a hug. He saw the white hair and immediately knew who it was. The girl looked up and Naruto smiled. Hey Ray-chan. Naruto said as he returned the hug. They stayed that way for 1 more minute before they separated. You're late. Ray accused. Naruto just raised his hands in defense. Hey. I've had a bad day okay. He explained. Ray just laughed. She noted that he was taller than him now. Also he was holding a paper bag. Well, it looks like you've gotten taller. And also what's in the bag? She asked Naruto. Naruto just reached in the bag and pulled out a scroll. He gave the scroll to Ray. Open it. He said. She quickly did and out popped a teddy bear. The teddy bear was just a plain teddy, though it looked old, it didn't have clothes. And on the back was a note. Ray-chan. This is a little something to keep you company as you travel and also something to remember me by. From Naruto. Thank you Naruto. It's beautiful. She shouted as she hugged him again. He returned the hug. No need to thank me Ray-chan. It's just a thank you gift for the harmonica. Naruto said as he pulled away from the hug. Naruto turned around and faced Jayuki. Here you go Jayuki. 150 wolf pelts and 400 deer pelts. Naruto handed Jayuki a scroll. He was about to open before he was stopped by Naruto. Don't open it yet. Not until you get to a larger area. It might destroy your stall. He explained. Jayuki nodded. Say kid. Where'd you get the scrolls? Jayuki asked, wanting some of it for storage. Ninja shop. Though these can only carry a bit of luggage. You can reuse them for later. Just place the items you want to seal, then channel chakra to the scroll. Naruto explained. Jayuki nodded. Understanding how they work. Wolf pelts are now worth 6,000 ryo each. Deer pelts are worth 3,500 ryo now. Damn demands. He quickly pulled out a small safe and inserted a key. It opened and he pulled out 2,300,000 ryo and handed it to Naruto. Naruto gladly accepted the cash and pulled out another scroll. He opened it and placed the money inside. He quickly did a one-handed sign. And the money was quickly sealed. He put the scroll inside his coat. He faced Jayuki again. Jayuki, I ask permission to take your daughter out for the rest of the day. He said with a bow. Jayuki just sighed. As long as she gets back by 6. Jayuki stated. Naruto looked up and smiled. He quickly turned around, grabbed Ray by her hands and headed for the village. Jayuki just sighed. I hope he treats her well. Jayuki said as he turned around to face a customer. Konoha streets. So Ray-chan, where do you want to go? Naruto asked. He was walking beside Ray who had a blush on her face. You decide Naruto-kun. I don't know anything about Konoha. She explained. Naruto turned to her and saw she was blushing. Naruto smiled. Okay, we'll just walk around a bit. Maybe head for the park. That okay with you Ray-chan? Naruto asked. Ray nodded her head, signifying a yes. They walked for about 10 minutes, discussing their individual likes and dislikes. Naruto learned that Rei really loved collecting rocks. She had a collection of different emeralds and rocks. Her favorite type of rock was called onyx. It was supposed to be a black rock. It was really common around Konoha. She told him that she had once found a white onyx rock. It was beside a stream of water, so it wasn't supposed to be there. She also liked ramen, which caused Naruto to tell her to eat at Ichiraku. She smiled at that and nodded, saying next time, take me there. She also really loved foreign weapons. She started getting into weapons when she found a fan knife left on the streets. She found that it was easy to use, it was small, but sharp. You could use it in skinning animals. Naruto also discovered that she knew nothing about skinning animals. So Naruto decided to lend her a scroll for beginners about how to skin small and medium animals. She also loved music. Whenever someone plays music, she stops and listens intently to the music. Naruto smiled when he found out about her love for music. She didn't like people that were really dark, like they didn't want people close to them. She also hated brooding people like Naruto. They smiled as they discussed to the most broody person they met. Wow, Rei-chan, we have a lot in common. Naruto smiled as he sat down on a bench. Rei sat down next to him and smiled. Yeah, Naruto-kun. Thanks again for taking me out. She smiled. Naruto heard a bell being rung and immediately knew what it was. He stood up and headed for the sound. Rei was about to stand up and follow, but Naruto stopped her. Wait a minute, Rei-chan. I'll be back. He shouted as he turned a corner. Rei sat in silence. Behind her was a statue of a person she didn't know. But the person was wearing a coat similar to Naruto's. There was no plaque there, indicating that whoever this was, everyone in Konoha should know him. Naruto appeared from out of the corner holding a twin pop ice cream. He quickly sat down next to Rei and split the ice cream in two. He handed one half to Rei, who took it with a smile. They quietly began eating their individual ice creams. Rei squealed in delight as she took her first lick. It's orange flavored. She squealed in delight. Naruto smiled at how cute she was. You like oranges, Rei-chan? Naruto asked. Rei nodded her head, still eating the ice cream. After finishing their individual pieces, they headed out of the park and back to the caravan. It took about 10 more minutes before they reached the caravan's tents. Thanks for today, Naruto-kun. I enjoyed it. Rei said as she kissed his cheek. Naruto blushed at the kiss. No problem, Rei-chan. He said with a smile. She smiled back and entered her tent. Naruto quickly did a 180 and left for his apartment. That took my mind off things. He thought as he began walking. At his apartment. Hi. Nabi. What the hell happened? Naruto shouted as he entered his apartment. Or rather, what was left of it anyway. He saw his couch was in tatters, the door looked like it clawed to death. His window head was close to being shattered. His fridge was on the floor. His coffee table had only 3 legs left. And the table where he used to eat. It had no legs. Hi, and Nabi quickly hopped up on Naruto's shoulders and let out a yip. Naruto sighed. He now knew that he didn't want to leave them alone in his apartment. Naruto just headed for his bedroom, plopped down on the bed and drifted to sleep. He wasn't hungry and he was really tired from the day. The next day. Naruto was the first to arrive at the gates. He was right on time. Sakura was the second to arrive, followed by Shikamaru and Choji. Ino arrived soon after, she was promptly followed by Sasuke. Then finally, after 2 hours of waiting, Kakashi, Asuma and Tazuna were the last to arrive. Finally. What took you guys so long? Naruto asked. Kakashi just smiled. We got lost on the road of life. He responded. Naruto just sighed. There was no arguing to do. Well anyway, let's head out. Asuma said as he exited followed by his team. Tazuna was right behind them. Kakashi walked behind Tazuna and pulled out a brand new orange book. Team 7's Genin sweat dropped. Where did he get that? They all thought in unison. They exited the gate and began their journey to Wave. Kakashi, we don't have time for this. Asuma sighed as he watched Kakashi get in line to a book signing. Kakashi just ignored Asuma and stayed in line. Hey. It's not every day I get to let my favorite author sign my favorite book. Kakashi explained. The line was long. It looked like a mile long. Then after that mile, the line turned a corner. So there was no telling how long the line was. They suddenly noticed a woman holding a sign that read. Wait time from this point is 2 hours. She placed the sign next to Kakashi. Asuma just sighed. No use trying to talk him out of it. He thought with a sigh as he grabbed a cigarette and lighted it. Talking? To say it was hot was an understatement. It was beyond hot, like hell had come on earth. Ah. Why is it this hot? Naruto shouted as he kept walking. He was currently in front of everyone. He was followed closely by Shikamaru and Choji. Ino, Sakura and Sasuke were flanking Tazuna, while Asuma and Kakashi were behind the group. It had been a day and a half since they left for Wave. And the weather just didn't love them. Nabi was currently sleeping on Naruto's hair. Naruto found out that she thought that his hair was her bed. Naruto laughed when he found that out. Hiei was currently on his shoulders. Tongue out. Troublesome. I never really wanted to go on this mission. Shikamaru complained. Choji just opened up a fresh bag of chips. What's wrong, Shikamaru? It's just an escort mission. Choji pointed out. That's the point. The guy doesn't trust us with his life. And he complains that we're brats. Why doesn't he just pay a bigger amount so he'll have Chunin's escort him? Troublesome old man. Shikamaru explained. He really didn't want to be on this mission. Hey. Don't worry, Shikamaru, Kakashi-sensei and Asuma-sensei are with us. They'll probably do all the work. Naruto joked. Shikamaru just replied with a whatever. Naruto and Choji laughed at this. After about 30 minutes of walking and 15 minutes of settling an argument with Sakura and Ino, they came across a puddle. Naruto quickly kicked up dirt, indicating that there was no water underground. Naruto quickly whispered to Shikamaru. Hey. Shikamaru. Naruto whispered. Shikamaru only nodded his head in understanding. They walked past the puddle, Choji eyed it curiously, but shrugged it off. Sasuke, Ino, Sakura and Tazuna just walked past it. Not bothering about it. Asuma and Kakashi eyed it curiously, but they continued walking at a slower pace. After they all passed the puddle, the sound of a splash was heard. Everyone turned around to see two ninjas jump out of the puddle. Each of them had the forehead protector of mist on their foreheads. But it had a slash in the middle, indicating that they were missing nins. They each had gloves with a chain attached to it. The chains connected them to each other. They also had brown ponchos over their bodies. They quickly wrapped the chain between the two jounins and pulled it. The others only looked on in horror. The best ninjas on the team were ripped to shreds before their very eyes. Ino and Sakura were dazed. Choji dropped his chips. Tazuna was shaking. But Naruto responded fast as he charged the men with his sword drawn. Sasuke too charged at full speed. Both men were about to jump out of the way, but the one Naruto was charging for found that he couldn't move. His eyes drifted to the ground and found that his shadow was connected to Shikamaru's shadow. Shadow possession, success. Shikamaru stated with a smirk. Naruto, with a swift motion, slashed at the man's chest, swiftly killing him. Meanwhile, the other rogue quickly detached his part of the chain so he could move out of the way of Sasuke's kick. He managed to dodge and grab Sasuke's foot, he quickly flipped him over his shoulder, sending him to the ground. He was about to retaliate, but he was quickly pinned down by the man grabbed his arm and twisted it, he gave off a groan of pain. Sasuke-kun. Sakura ran toward Sasuke only to be stopped by Naruto. Don't come any closer. One more step from any one of you and I'll slice his throat. The man shouted in desperation. Fine, release him, and we'll let you go. Naruto offered. The man just eyed Naruto. Fuck that. I'll avenge my brother's death. I'll start by killing off this guy. Then finishing my mission to kill the bridge builder. He shouted in fury. He quickly drew a kunai and attempted to kill Sasuke. However, he found that his kunai was blocked by Naruto's sword. He was about to finish the sentence, but Naruto kicked him in the face before he could finish. Naruto quickly gave Sasuke a hand. Protect Azuna. I don't want anyone interfering with my fight. Naruto voiced out. Sasuke was about to retaliate, but a hand suddenly appeared on his shoulder, stopping him. He looked behind and saw his sensei. Let him fight Sasuke. Kakashi said, with Hiei and Nabi on his shoulders. All the genins looked at him in shock. Substitution. Kakashi said with an eye smiled. Sasuke looked at Kakashi and sighed. He glanced at Naruto. Fine. But give him a good beating. Sasuke said with a sneer. No problem. Naruto said with his back turned on everyone. The man laughed at Naruto's heroic stand. You think you can take me, little genin? I eat runts like you for breakfast. He finished as he raised his gauntlet. Naruto charged at the man with his sword being dragged on the ground, leaving a trail of dust. The man waited for the strike to come, he stood his ground and prepared to defend. Naruto quickly raised his sword and jumped in the air, the sun right behind him. The man became disorientated and used his free hand to block the sun from his sight. Bad idea. Huaitan. Hakai Takina Sarasu Okumjun. Wind release. Descending destructive slash. Naruto shouted. Asuma quickly walked next to Kakashi. You didn't tell me he was a wind user. Asuma said, grabbing a cigarette and lighting it. I didn't know either. He just used his sword when we fought. Kakashi lied, not wanting to get embarrassed for not telling Asuma. Naruto's blade suddenly glowed blue. In a flash, Naruto was behind his opponent, his blade on the ground. He quickly stood up and sheathed his sword. As he fully sheathed it, the man suddenly burst in blood. His gauntlet shattered in a million pieces. He fell over, dead. Naruto quickly grabbed the man's forehead protector and a piece of his gauntlet. He walked over to the other man and took his gauntlet and forehead protector too. He quickly grabbed a scroll from his pocket and opened it. He placed the items on the scroll and channeled chakra. The scroll puffed out smoke and the items were gone. Kakashi smiled at Naruto. "Good job Naruto, Shikamaru. But Naruto, how are you holding up?" Kakashi asked. Asuma quickly joined him, wanting to know the answer also. "What are you talking about Kakashi-sensei?" Naruto asked with a smile. "You just got your first kills. Don't tell me you're not fazed by that." Kakashi asked with a sweat drop. Naruto just shrugged and put the scroll in his inner coat pocket. Asuma quickly walked to Naruto and gave him a piece of paper. "Channel chakra into that paper Naruto." That is, and Asuma was interrupted by Naruto raising his hand in a stop motion. "I know already, my elemental affinities are wind, water, and just a bit of lightning," Naruto said as he channeled chakra into the paper. The piece of paper suddenly sliced into 3 uneven pieces. The biggest part became wet. The middle part crumpled. While the smallest part crumbled into dust. Kakashi and Asuma had their jaws on the ground, well, Asuma had his jaw on the ground. Kakashi only wide-eyed. "Whoa. Guess I have 4 affinities now," Naruto said with a smile. Asuma's cigarette fell out of his mouth. "What the hell kid? I've never seen a 13-year-old have 4 affinities," Asuma shouted. Naruto only smiled sheepishly. Kakashi cleared his throat loudly, gaining everyone's attention. He saw he got everyone's attention, he quickly turned to Tazuna. "Tazuna-san, I believe that the demon brothers are at least mid-Chunin level. Now why are they after you? And shouldn't this mission be at least A-ranked?" Kakashi asked with a serious tone. Tazuna only looked at the ground in shame. "I am sorry, I didn't have enough money to pay for that kind of escort. I only had enough money for a genin escort," Tazuna said, his voice low. He quickly got on his knees and started crying. A man named Gato arrived in Wave 3 years ago. He was just a lowly salesman then. But he quickly earned money. He brought everything in Wave. He turned Wave into a poor country. He raised prices, he drove people away from their homes, he raped women. He drove us all into the ground." He stopped to catch his breath. He continued. "That's why I'm building the bridge. It's to establish trade routes to other villages. So we don't have to pay Gato anymore. That bridge is our hope if we ever want to raise from the ground. So please, I beg you. Please help us." He begged. He was quickly brought to his feet again by Naruto. "Tazuna, I will protect you, but these guys have different stories. If they decide to turn back, I won't. I'll protect you and your country," Naruto said with determination. Tazuna just looked at Naruto in shock. Naruto turned around and faced his friends. "Kakashi-sensei and Asuma-sensei already decided to go, but we're not forcing any of you. If you don't want to risk your lives, we can turn back and forget about this mission," Naruto said. Asuma and Kakashi looked at their students with expectantly. "We're wasting time. Let's continue forward," Sasuke said in a cool tone. Naruto smirked. "Looks like Sasuke wants to continue. What about you guys?" Naruto asked the others. Sakura and Ino looked at each other. They nodded in understanding. "Me and Ino are continuing," Sakura stated. Naruto looked at Ino who only nodded. Hiei and Nabi jumped down from Kakashi's shoulder and hopped up on Naruto's. Naruto smiled and used his finger to play with the foxes. "Troublesome, I just want to lay down and get some rest. And we're too far from Konoha to backtrack. I'll continue," Shikamaru said in a lazy tone. "I just want to try the food in Wave, I hear they have really good fish." "I'll continue too," Choji said with a smile. Naruto stopped playing and looked at his sensei with a smile. "Let's keep going then." Tazuna looked up at the genins with a smile. He bowed and shouted. Thank you so much," he shouted. Kakashi smiled while Asuma smirked. "Let's head out then," Kakashi said as he turned around. Later that night. "Okay guys, we have another half a day before we get to Wave. We'll camp out here until the morning. Me and Asuma will take the first watch. Naruto, Sasuke and Shikamaru will take the second watch. Then we move out at sunrise." "Got it," Kakashi explained. They set up camp right next to a river, 2 stones in front of the camp and a forest to their left. "Hi." Everyone said in unison. After 10 minutes of preparing. 2 tents were set up. One for the boys, while the other were for the 2 girls. Kakashi exited the boys' tent and sat on the ground, leaning on a tree. Asuma was sitting on the ground smoking. "Looks like Naruto can handle himself pretty well, Kakashi," Asuma said as he puffed out a cloud of smoke. Kakashi, not letting his eye leave his book, replied. "He is just low mid-Chunin level. All the fights he won up to now were the results of his opponents underestimating him. I doubt he can hold his own against ninjas older than him," Kakashi stated. Asuma inhaled. "Well, either way, I've never seen a genin have 4 elemental affinities. I should probably teach him some basic wind techniques." He also has a knack for finding out if people are lying. Asuma stated. Kakashi didn't reply as he had already immersed himself in his book. Asuma sighed at the man. Geez, you're embarrassing, Kakashi. Asuma said as he stood up and walked to the opposite end of the camp. Kakashi looked up at the retreating figure of Asuma and I smiled. They can handle themselves, Asuma. Kakashi said loud enough for Asuma to hear. Asuma just let out a hoarse cough. I know the Kakashi. Asuma responded as he sat on a tree stump. Kakashi refocused on his book and let out a perverted giggle. Oh hee. Why does he have to do that? He whispered. In the boys' tent. Did anyone else hear someone giggle? Naruto asked. Everyone just shook their heads. You're hearing things, Naruto. Choji said as he munched on potato chips. Naruto just sighed as he laid down on his bedroll. Whatever. Wake me up when it's time for our shift, Shikamaru. Naruto said as he turned away from the group. Hi and Nabi right beside him. Already asleep. Troublesome, hey Sasuke, wake me up when it's time for our shift. Shikamaru said lazily as he laid down on his own bedroll. Sasuke was about to retaliate before he heard a snore from Shikamaru. The hell? How can he sleep that fast? Sasuke said with a sweat drop. That's Shikamaru for ya. Choji said as he munched on more chips. Tazuna looked at the kids and let out a laugh. Wow. This is much better than a comedy bar. Tazuna said as he kept laughing. Choji offered Sasuke some chips, but Sasuke denied it. I'll get some sleep too. Tazuna said as he laid down on his bedroll. Sasuke had took to brooding. While Choji opened a new bag of chips. Sasuke saw Naruto's body tense, but ignored it. Suddenly a loud scream was heard from outside their tent. The scream came from the girls' tent. Naruto and Shikamaru woke up from the sound of the scream. All four boys quickly exited their tent. In the girls' tent. Hey Sakura. Ino said as she faced her friend. Sakura only led him. What happened to Naruto? I mean, what really happened? He used to have next to no ninja skills. Ino asked, wanting to know what happened. Sakura just shook her head. I don't know too, he doesn't tell us anything. Sakura explained. Well, whatever. It's not like he could beat Sasuke-kun or anything. Right. Ino stated. Sakura just sighed. Right. Ino repeated. Sakura just shook her head. I don't know, Ino. Maybe. Sakura answered. Ino had her jaw on the ground. Hey, are you seriously suggesting that Naruto, of all people, could beat Sasuke-kun? The rookie of the year? She nearly shouted. Sakura just shook her head furiously. And no. Of course not. Naruto could never beat Sasuke-kun. She strengthened her resolve. Ino stood up and walked over to her bag that was lying on the ground. She reached in and pulled out a pen and some papers. She began writing down words on the paper. Sakura moved closer to Ino to see what she was writing on the paper. What are you writing, Ino? Sakura asked. Curious as to what she could possibly be writing. Ino continued writing as she answered. It's a protective spell. It's supposed to help one find out if they believe in what they say or not. Ino explained. Sakura just sighed at what she was doing. You don't really believe in those things, do you, Ino? Sakura asked in exasperation. Ino finished what she was writing down and handed Sakura the piece of paper. Sakura took the piece of paper and stared at it. She glanced back at Ino, who was writing on another piece of paper. What am I supposed to do with this, Ino? Sakura asked, deciding to play along for now. Ino finished writing on the other piece of paper and stuck it on her forehead, her pointing finger on the middle, holding it in place. Just do what I do, forehead. It won't be that hard for you. Ino teased. Sakura fumed, she calmed down and did what Ino had done also, placing the piece of paper on her forehead, holding it in place with her finger. Now repeat after me. My heart lies to my soul. Ino began. My heart lies to my soul. Sakura repeated. My soul lies to my very being. Ino continued. My soul lies to my very being. Sakura again repeated. I wish to know what my heart knows, so my soul may begin telling the truth to who I am. Ino finished. I wish to know what my heart knows, so my soul may begin telling the truth to who I am. Sakura repeated. The papers suddenly began to glow, illuminating the dark tent. Sakura and Ino eyes rolled back in their heads. And, after a few seconds, they snapped back to normal. The paper on both their heads had vanished. And both girls stared at each other wide-eyed. Ah! They screamed unanimously. Their tent was suddenly swarmed by the men. The men looked around the tent curiously. Shikamaru spoke up. What's the problem? Do you realize how troublesome it is to get out of bed? And Cheku screamed. Shikamaru said in a lazy, annoyed tone. Naruto sighed in relief in seeing the girls unhurt. Geez, you guys nearly gave me a heart attack. Would you guys scream anyway? Naruto asked. Sakura looked at Ino desperately. Ino also took a sideways glance at Sakura. After a minute of looking, they nodded their heads. They both faced the boys and shouted. "Get the hell out of our tent, perverts." They screamed in unison. All the boys were suddenly kicked out. Save Sasuke, who was being asked to stay in the tent. Choji, Shikamaru and Naruto all landed in heap, with Naruto at the bottom and Shikamaru on top. They looked up and saw Asuma and Kakashi looking at them. Asuma was holding back a laugh while Kakashi was smiling. "What are you looking at?" Shikamaru said in an annoyed tone. "Hey, guys, could you get the hell off me?" Naruto squirmed from under Choji and Shikamaru, his face was turning blue. Shikamaru just shook his head. "It's too troublesome to get up. I'll just stay up here," he said lazily. Choji had no qualms because he landed right next to 3 bags of potato chips. All jumbo-sized. "Braya." Naruto stood straight up and launched the 2 people on him in the air. Shikamaru recovered and landed on his feet, Choji however, wasn't so lucky. "Naruto!" Choji shouted. Naruto looked to where Choji landed. And noticed he landed in a nearby river. His potato chip bags opened and full of water. Naruto knew one thing and one thing only at that moment. "I'm fucking dead," was his last thought before he was charged at by Choji. Asuma finally fell over laughing as he watched Naruto get pummeled. Kakashi went over to check how the girls were doing and found Sasuke being dragged around by the 2 girls. They were screaming, "He sleeps next to me." Or he doesn't want to sleep there. Sasuke was turning green from being dragged around. He didn't have the strength to escape because he was tired from traveling the whole day. "It's gonna be a long night," Kakashi thought with a sigh. 2 hours later. Naruto woke up in a sewer, indicating that he was in his mindscape. He sighed. "I wonder what he wants." Naruto said to no one. He began walking to where the Kyuubi usually was. As he was walking he noticed something. "Wait a minute. Since when did Kyuubi start wanting me in the middle of the night? He usually waits until morning." As he turned a corner he was greeted with a familiar face. The 6-foot man smiled at Naruto from behind the cage. "Hello kid. What brings you here in the middle of the night?" Kyuubi asked Naruto. Naruto looked annoyed at the man. "The hell Kyuubi? You're the one that dragged me in here in the middle of the night. Don't go asking me what I'm doing here when you dragged me here." Naruto finished. Kyuubi just grinned madly at Naruto. "Alright kid. You caught me. I actually brought you here to tell you something," Kyuubi said. Naruto walked closer to the cage to hear what the Kyuubi had to say. Kyuubi's grin grew wider and wider as Naruto approached the cage. As Naruto took his last step, a shadow engulfed him. He began to panic. He couldn't see anything, he couldn't even see his arm. He thrashed around, flailing his arms and legs. He was being dragged through the ground. He let out a last yell as he finally dissolved fully into the ground, leaving only a grinning Kyuubi in his cage. "Good luck kid. You're seriously gonna need it." Kyuubi turned and began walking to the dark side of his cage, grinning all the way. "Naruto. Wake up." A voice rang out in a pure white room. Naruto groaned. "5 more minutes," he said as he waved his hand. His eyes suddenly snapped open. He quickly stood up and reached for his sword. He only grabbed air however. He looked at his surroundings and noted that there was nothing there. Save for a man who had long white hair, he also had horns sticking out of his hair, but the hair blocked most of the horns. He also noted that the man was wearing a white robe. Or was it a kimono? Naruto couldn't tell. Naruto viewed the man's face, and his eyes grew wide. He had fangs, 4 in fact. 2 on his upper jaw and 2 on the bottom jaw. He had what looked like purple mascara on. His eyes were also dark red, giving the man a menacing look. Naruto couldn't see any feet. But what really grabbed Naruto's eye was the sword the man was holding on his long and white arm. He was holding Naruto's sword. Shit. How'd he get that? Naruto thought in a panic. He grabbed a kunai from his pouch and took on the Yokian stance, his right hand holding the kunai instead of the classic palm. His left arm and hand were also closer to his chest and extended farther than his right. The man-demon just smiled evilly at Naruto. "Do you really want to fight with the god of death kid?" the man taunted. Naruto's heart skipped a beat at what he heard. His hands began shaking and his feet became wobbly. He was honestly scared shitless from this point. "DTT the god of death? Why you mean Shinigami-san?" he stuttered as he asked. The god's smile grew wider at seeing Naruto scared. "That's right kid. I am the god of death. Shinigami." The now confirmed Shinigami explained. Naruto fell on his butt as Shinigami finished his sentence. He began to shake uncontrollably from fear. Shinigami laughed at Naruto. "Relax. I won't eat your soul. I just came to test you." Shinigami finished with a sigh. Naruto steadily stood up and eyed at Shinigami curiously. "Test me?" Naruto asked in shock. Shinigami held out Naruto's sword, he closed his eyes as if trying to focus. "What's he doing?" was Naruto's exact thoughts. His thoughts were answered as his sword suddenly flew towards him. Instinctively he dodged it, but the sword stopped in front of where Naruto was standing. It plunged itself into the white ground. Naruto looked at it curiously and then he looked back at Shinigami. "Take hold of it. Feel its power. And prove to me if you're the right person for the sword," Shinigami explained. Naruto walked carefully towards the sword. He stopped in front of it and glanced at Shinigami for the last time. Shinigami nodded his head. Naruto reached out for the sword. As he grabbed the hilt, the sword began glowing. It began glowing black. Then it began flashing. It steadily became faster and faster. Finally, the sword began warping into a figure. Naruto jumped back and watched what was happening. Shinigami just smiled an evil smile. "I guess the Kyuubi was right," he said to himself. Naruto's sword began warping into the shape of a woman. After a few minutes of waiting, the place where Naruto's sword was replaced with a woman. She had black hair. It reached down to her elbows, it curled as it reached her elbows. Her eyes were charcoal black. Like night it invaded them. She was wearing a traditional black kimono, which reached all the way below her knees. It also had a white sash around her waist. She was also wearing what appeared to be a white jacket, its sleeves rolled up to her elbow. She was also wearing black slippers. Her eyes drifted between Naruto and Shinigami. She faced Shinigami and knelt on her knee. "Shinigami-sama. Why have you called for me?" she asked in a sweet voice. Shinigami smiled at the woman. "I was not the one who called for you, Onyxia. It is the young boy over there that called for you." Shinigami pointed towards Naruto. Onyxia looked at Naruto carefully. She walked over and began pacing around him, carefully examining him. She stopped in front of Naruto and turned around. "You cannot be serious, Shinigami-sama. This young boy called upon me?" she asked Shinigami. Shinigami laughed at her. She turned around to see Naruto eyeing her closely. She winked at him, causing Naruto to blush. "Shinigami-sama. This boy is too young to be my wielder. I cannot allow him to wield me," she said. Naruto looked dejected. "So I can't wield my sword anymore?" he thought. He was snapped back into reality as Shinigami appeared in front of him. He was picked up and by the collar and thrown towards Onyxia. "Wah!" he screamed. Onyxia dodged him and he regained composure and stood up. "What the hell was that for Shinigami team?" Naruto shouted with fury. Onyxia raised an eyebrow as he insulted the god of death. Shinigami just smirked. "See? He has the balls to insult me. You once told me that you'd let anyone wield you if they could insult me," Shinigami explained. Onyxia just smiled. She began walking towards Naruto. Naruto took his Yokian stance, ready to attack if necessary. Onyxia just kept walking towards him. She reached out a hand and placed it on Naruto's head. "Very well, from now on, you are my master." Onyxia smiled. He then suddenly felt the feeling that he was falling. The pure white room suddenly turned dark. Naruto looked up and saw a round hole, indicating that he was falling down a hole. As his vision faded, Naruto could hear the evil laughter of Shinigami. "He is certainly the one we are looking for, Kami," Shinigami said to no one as a gate appeared and opened behind him. He stepped through the gate. And the gate closed, leaving Onyxia alone. "I hope he is." Onyxia responded to the now gone Shinigami. She leapt through the hole, chasing after Naruto. Kyuubi. Almost an hour had passed as Kyuubi was waiting for Naruto. He began pacing back and forth. "Where the hell are you, kid?" he asked no one. Suddenly a hole opened up from the ceiling. "Ah. There you are," the Kyuubi said to himself. Naruto suddenly appeared from the hold, landing face first on the sewer floor. As he laid there, he was suddenly crushed by Onyxia landing feet first on his back. "Whoa." Kyuubi muttered as he saw Onyxia. Suddenly they both heard a muffled voice. "Hey, do you hear something?" Kyuubi asked. Onyxia just shook her head. "Why? Do you?" she asked Kyuubi. She was suddenly launched in the air as Naruto stood straight up. "What the hell is with people and sitting on me?" he shouted. Onyxia landed gracefully on her feet and looked at her surroundings. "My. Naruto-kun, your mind is a dump," she commented on Naruto's mindscape. Naruto turned around and saw Onyxia standing there. "And you? What gives you the right to call my mind a dump?" he asked in a raised voice. Onyxia smirked. "Because this place will be my home and I at least want to live in a hospitable place. Not a sewer," she finished coolly. Kyuubi watched the exchange and laughed hard. "So, Shinigami sends a little girl to help Naruto. What has gotten into him?" Kyuubi laughed. Onyxia just smiled. "Oh, I can assure you, I'm no simple girl, Kurama-san," she told Kyuubi. Kyuubi stooped laughing and stared at the woman. Naruto looked confused. "What did she call you, Kyuubi?" "Kurama," Naruto asked Kyuubi. "Nothing, kid. Now are you going to introduce me?" he said in a low tone. "Oh right. Kyuubi this is Onyxia. Nice to finally meet you, Kyuubi-san," Naruto was interrupted as Onyxia beat him in the introduction. Kyuubi scowled at the Onyxia. Onyxia walked over to the cage and held out a hand. Smiling. Likewise Onyxia. Kyuubi shook her hand, squeezing hard. Though she was unfazed at the squeeze. Onyxia let go and faced Naruto. Fine, if I have to leave in a sewer. At least give me a room. She demanded. Naruto just looked at her in confusion. How the hell do I do that? He asked her. She just sighed at his question. It's your mind. Just imagine a room. She explained. Naruto let out an "oh" before he closed his eyes and turned to a wall. A few seconds later, a door materialized out of nowhere. Onyxia approached the door and opened it. She turned to Naruto. Your first lesson will be later. I'll call you when it's time. She told Naruto. She stepped into the room and closed the door. Naruto sighed and turned to Kyuubi. Mind explaining why Shinigami team, of all people, wanted me? He asked Kyuubi. Who just grinned madly at him. Something about the inheritance of a sage or something. Kyuubi withheld information from Naruto. Naruto knew he was lying immediately but decided not to push further. He let out a yawn and decided to get more sleep. Whatever Kyuubi. I know you're lying, but I'm too sleepy to question you. I'll see you tomorrow. He said as he faded from the sewers. Kyuubi smiled at him. He really is his reincarnation. Huh, guess I have to watch him closely now. Kyuubi said as he turned and disappeared in his cage. Outside. Hey. Hey dope. Wake up. Sasuke shouted to the sleeping Naruto. Naruto let out a quiet groan. He opened his eyes and saw Sasuke and Shikamaru up. Naruto let out another groan. Is it our turn already? He said as he stretched. Shikamaru had exited the tent. Well, Sasuke sighed. Just get up. He said as he stood up and exited the tent. Naruto looked around and saw Kakashi and Asuma already asleep. Damn it. Must have been out longer than I thought. He said to himself as he stood up and grabbed Onyxia from her place. Careful to not disturb his sleeping foxes. He saw that Onyxia had one emerald glowing blue. The string attached to the pommel had also turned into a white chain. Strange. I'll ask about it tomorrow. He said as he too exited the tent. What he saw when he exited the tent almost made him pass out. Not out of pain or sadness or fatigue, no. He almost passed out of laughter. Shikamaru had been entangled on ropes. He was upside down and you could see blood flowing to his head, making him look like a bright red tomato. Sasuke was sparkling. He looked like he had been dumped in glitter. He also had lipstick and eyeliner. He had blush on and he was also entangled in some rope. Though with Sasuke, his legs and arms were apart and the ropes were spinning him around. After laughing for more than 10 minutes, Naruto decided to get them down from there. He first let down Shikamaru, who was close to passing out. He cut loose Sasuke, who immediately went to the river and started puking. Naruto decided to help Sasuke some more as he kicked his rear side, resulting in Sasuke falling into the river. Sure it was mean, but Sasuke needed it. That's what you get for thinking you're the best. Naruto shouted as he watched Sasuke go down river. Naruto. Sasuke's voice faded as he kept going down the river. Naruto turned to the now stable Shikamaru. So, what happened? Naruto asked with a grin. Shikamaru just sighed as he took a seat on the ground next to the rock. Too troublesome to explain. He sighed as he leaned back with his hands behind his head. Naruto crossed his fingers. Page Bunshin no Jutsu. 30 more Narutos appeared. Make a 6-kilometer perimeter around the camp, dispel if you find something fishy. And also, someone help Sasuke out. He ordered his clones. They all replied with a resounding yes boss. As they disappeared through different paths. Naruto looked over to Shikamaru and found that he was fast asleep. Lazy bastard. He said. I heard that. Shikamaru said as he opened one eye and looked at Naruto. Naruto just grinned. Yeah? What are you gonna do about it, pineapple? Naruto challenged. Shikamaru just turned his head and face a different direction. Troublesome blonde idiot. He muttered before he let out a snore. Naruto's sweat dropped. How the? Never mind. Naruto said as he stood up and jumped up on a tree branch. This will be a long and boring night. He muttered to himself as he grabbed his harmonica and started playing. The next day. Asuma was the first to wake up from the group, followed closely by Kakashi. Kakashi looked at Naruto, Sasuke, and Shikamaru closely. He let out an eye smile as he saw some leftover glitter shine on Sasuke's head. Asuma had woken up Ino and Sakura. Well, Sasuke went and woke up Tazuna. Once all had freshened up and all the tents were packed. They started moving. Team 10 decided to stay behind and find information about Geto from nearby villages. Team 7 continued forward, hoping to get Tazuna to his home by noon. It was still just 5 AM. And the sun hadn't started to rise yet. I have a friend nearby that may help us cross the river. Kakashi stated. After an hour and a half of walking, they arrived to a house near the shore. They entered and were greeted by a man. Kakashi seemed to know him as the man had already prepared a boat and asked them to board. After 2 hours on the boat, they reached shore. There the man turned back and was instructed to wait for Team 10 and escort them here. Team 7 and Tazuna continued walking for another hour. "Tazuna-san, how far are we from your house?" Kakashi asked Tazuna. "It's just about an hour and a half walk away," Tazuna stated. Kakashi was about to announce that to his team before he noted a spike in killer intent. He quickly grabbed for a kunai, but he was beaten by Naruto, who had already thrown one behind a bush. "What the hell, Naruto?" Sakura shouted. They all heard a rustling in the leaves and quickly took their stances. After a minute of waiting, a white rabbit popped out of the bush. It was shaking. Hiei and Nabi quickly eyed it in gluttony, while Sakura took the rabbit and held it. "Naruto. You scared the poor guy," Sakura scolded. Sasuke was about to say something insulting before Naruto shouted. "The hell? I thought I felt something strange over there. And why is that rabbit white?" Naruto shouted in frustration. Kakashi suddenly went wide-eyed. He suddenly felt a wave of killer intent. "Everyone duck," he shouted. Kakashi grabbed Tazuna and dove to the ground. Sakura had let go of the rabbit and mirrored Kakashi. While Sasuke dived on the ground. Naruto, however, held up his sword in defense for what was coming. He suddenly felt something pushing against his sword hard. He began counter-pushing, but the force of it was too much. Naruto's sword slipped from his hand as the object flew back. Naruto saw the object and noted that it was a sword. A giant steel sword, it had a hole on the top part of the blade. An ixia flew from Naruto's hand and hit a tree. There it was embedded. "Well, that was surprising," a voice rang out. The road they had been walking on was suddenly covered in a thick fog. Naruto could sense chakra in the fog, so it wasn't natural. "I haven't met a genin who was skilled enough with his sword to block my own." Naruto looked up to where the enemy's sword was. And saw a tall and muscular man. He was wearing camo pants. He had no shirt on his head was the forehead protector of mist with a slash on it. He also had a strap that formed an X on his chest and back. He was wearing standard ninja shoes. Naruto quickly dashed for his sword, but he was hit by a punch, sending him flying towards the lake. There he landed and went underwater. The others couldn't see anything and only heard a splash of water. Kakashi quickly stood up and looked for Naruto. "Protect Azuna with your lives," he ordered Sasuke and Sakura before he disappeared in the mist. Sasuke and Sakura quickly did what they were told and took their places where Tazuna was between them. Naruto had began to surface and used his hand on the water so he could pull himself up. As he fully stood up, he looked over his sword and found that the man was holding it and examining it. He also noted that the emerald stopped glowing. "Interesting piece you got here, kid. When I kill, I'll be keeping this," the man said as he impaled the sword through the earth. "Yeah, when you kill me, and that's a million years from now," Naruto taunted as he charged to the man with his kunai poised to strike. The man just laughed at him. "Cocky brat." The man insulted as he ducked under Naruto's punch and used the pommel of his oversized sword to hit Naruto's chest. Naruto was going so fast and the sudden stop and momentum made him hover over the ground for a few seconds. The man followed up with a straight punch to the stomach. He put some weight into it, sending Naruto towards the lake again. There he skidded over the water for 5 seconds. Before he landed on the shore opposite the man. "Hahaha. You think that a genin like you could stand a chance against me? Zabuza Mamachi, the demon in the mist." The man's voice rang out. Naruto steadily stood back up and took 2 kunais from his pouch and held them in a reverse grip. Taking the Yokian stance. The man now known as Zabuza looked at the kid. "Stay down, kid. I'll make your death quick and easy," Zabuza told Naruto. Naruto replied by spitting the blood out his mouth towards Zabuza's direction. "Then I'll make your death slow and painful," Naruto shouted as he jumped high in the air and started rapidly spinning. He was spinning so fast that the mist was gathering around him and a tornado was forming. "Yuiten. Ju-ha-shu." Suddenly, the tornado split. Waves of air flying everywhere. The mist was clearing up and a wave of wind was coming towards Zabuza, who just closed his eyes. "Vidchuinen at best. Not good enough, kid," Zabuza said as he blocked the attack with his sword. He jumped up towards Naruto, blade being trailed by mist. "Say goodbye, kid," Zabuza shouted as the sound of flesh being sliced resounded. "Naruto?" Sakura shouted from below. "Kakashi, what are you doing?" Asuma asked. He had just finished the checking of the perimeter to find Kakashi, setting up a trap rope in front of the boys' tents. He also noted that there were 2 ropes. One had a bucket of glitters while the other had more rope. "Just something to scare away people," he replied coolly as he tightened the ropes. "Scare away people or scar our genins?" Asuma asked. "Preferably both," Kakashi replied again. Kakashi checked his trap and I smiled. "Whoever leaves the tent last is gonna be lucky." he said to himself. What? Asuma couldn't distinguish what Kakashi had said. Asuma also now noticed that there were bottles of sake, 3 of them, next to where Kakashi was. Probably finished the book. Asuma thought with a sigh as he began walking away. What if Naruto tells the Hokage the secret to paperwork? End here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.